Guys, imagine you living for the Empire, staying years protecting it, being the strongest of this place, and in the end of a big battle being betrayed by who you thought was your best friend. Well, yeah, that was what happened with our boy, and after this event, the only thing that he is wanting is vengeance. So, sit there in your chair, prepare your popcorn, and let's start this journey. Our story begins in middle of this destruction. And in this place all finished is our boy, and he is a little bit revolted because in this moment happened something with him. Then he calls his colleague and asks if they not were brothers that face life and death together. And looking down, our boy asks why this guy is doing this with him. But the crazy guy down there starts to turn on a loudspeaker and asks if he still remembers how it was that the disaster began. He says that the monsters appeared all over world coming out of strange rifts, and in this way they spread chaos, and our finished boy just keeps listening to this nonsense. The crazy guy continues saying that after they passed through this tragedy, they started to call these rifts secret realms. And those who came in contact with the secret realm gained a mysterious power called class. He says that through this formed legions of class to invade the secret realms. With this they advanced and won every mission, and this time they faced even secret realm of level SSS, that was known as most dangerous. And the extra with this shit face says that it is exactly for this reason that he is doing this, and that now he has to eliminate our boy, saying that he became totally uncontrollable, because he is someone with a class so powerful that can easily shake the order of the Empire. Our boy hearing this gets furious and look at the face of hate of him, only that this crazy guy continues saying that our boy even surpassed the level SSS and now he is the threat most dangerous of all. Then, the Emperor made a decree saying that the power most strong needs to be in the hands of the imperial family, because only thus the Empire will be able to remain safe. Our boy, hearing this, already gets angry and asks if it was for this reason that he overturned his family and his companions. Only that the guy not cared about this and responded in the way most cold possible, saying that this all was for the good of the Empire. Our boy gets very furious and starts to accumulate a large quantity of energy. Then he leaves in direction of this guy to attack him, only that suddenly he receives an explosion making him be thrown far away. Then with his horse this crazy guy approaches and says that already it was a time that he had altered the armor of our boy, and says that with the explosion of now, a compound poison will enter in his wounds. While our boy is thrown on the ground, the guy continues talking, saying that after a battle intense in the secret realm of level SS, he not would have more strength to resist, and warns that brought even an army entire to deal with him. Our boy is almost passing out, but the guy tells him to consider this as a form of respect. Then, with this look cold, our boy remembers of something and remembers of his childhood when he was with this guy, and keeps asking himself if it was this that meant being brother forever. And the only thing that he is feeling that this is a feeling of shit. But, in this moment something appears in his front, and the system already is showing a hidden ability for him, Mirrored World, warning that he fulfilled the conditions to activate it. It is a hidden ability of rank SSS, and, in the description, says that it is a supreme ability that reverts everything, and the system is asking him to activate or deactivate. Our boy, seeing that not has any option, resolves to activate it, and through the reflection of the water, his soul is leaving from his body. Then, decades later, in a place remote, a crowd is doing bullying with a person, and this crowd is saying that the boy that is tied up is pretending of dead. This extra gets irritated and already puts a punch in the belly of him, saying that not likes anything of his face. Then this boy wakes up for some instance, and the crowd around tells this extra in black to hit him again. Only that our boy gives a cough and says that not was pretending, but when he goes to try to talk, the boy that was holding the rope dips him in the water again. The crowd is very happy and warns that if he pretends of dead again, will give another lesson to him. And the guys are wanting to lift him again just to put more beating on him, but under the water he starts to drown, and in his thought he keeps asking himself why is happening with him. Only that, suddenly, the figure of our protagonist appears, and he is asking himself what noise was that? Returning there to that confusion, a person there back says for them to stop with this because, if they continue the boy can die for real. The extra in black gets a little irritated and warns that if he is dying for real, it is just he used magic of healing, since he possesses the class of Bard, warning that he manages to recover at least a little. The extra arrives near this boy and warns that he is a true hypocrite. Smiling, says that if the boy had not guided the group of them in this place, they would not have found him, and says that if the boy dies the guilt will be his. The boy tries to defend himself, saying that it was them that insisted, but the extra just turns to him and asks if he also is wanting to drown. The guy stays quiet and the crazy guy starts to squeeze the shoulder of him, says that it is very cute, a punching bag in the opinion of him. Then this extra closes his fist and already goes to try to give a punch in this guy, but suddenly he hears the noise and already knows what is happening. When he turns, comes a shine enormous, and around this shine, a skeleton is emerging. The crazy guys know that this is the secret realm, and the extra in black asks why this is happening now. The guys get shitting themselves of fear and already say that they have to run, because this secret realm is much beyond the level of them. The little guy of glasses tries to run too, but when he looks back, realizes that that crazy guy still is tied up. The little guy of glasses, he gets paralyzed, but soon he makes a decision and already leaves running in the direction of this guy, saying that this not matters now. The only thing that he has to do is save him. But while he is arriving near the rope, the secret realm is expanding. The crazy guy, desperately, tries to untie him. But while he is doing this, the monsters are appearing. He keeps asking himself why these guys gave a blind knot in this rope. But while he is trying to free this crazy guy, the monsters already are noticing the presence of him, and not takes long and one of these creatures already goes in the direction of him to attack him. Only that, suddenly, a hand grabs his shirt and already pulls him right away, making him dodge the attack. And who did this was the boy who was tied up. He points his hand in the direction of the creature and tries to use a skill. Then he calls the glacial fear. And look at the face of this boy. The monster tries to defend itself and starts to shine. Suddenly goes up a number. Only that the system warns to our boy that he used the basic healing mag icon a demon. Only that the action failed since its HP is full. The boy there back asks what he is doing and why he is trying to heal this creature. Then he jumps in front of our boy and already activates his shield. And our boy gets a little surprised with this. Then he opens his system and already goes to see his information. And in this moment he realizes that this class is of Bard. He activates again his skill and understands that the magic that he just used now is a magic of healing. In this moment he will realize that this knot is the body original of him. Thoughtful, he says that, normally when someone enters the secret realm for the first time, this person binds to the system and receives a class random. And this class knot can change in way any. As they act inside the secret realm, are getting stronger. Through this, they start to gain skill linked this class, only that, in his past life he was a guerrero in his peak. Then he remembers that, on the bed of his death, he used that skill strange and, after him having used it, got stuck in the mirrored world. But, when he heard the scream of death of that boy, he woke up and, in this way was reborn in this body. He not knows if gets happy with this, but the only thing that he can do now is be thankful, because in this moment he has a chance for vengeance. While he is having this daydream, the crazy guy there in front calls him and says that the monsters not stop appearing, and already tells to our boy that needs help, saying that he can withstand at maximum 3 monsters. Our boy, seeing this, says that not can do much thing because the body that he is in now is weak too much, saying that even monsters small is too much for him. He opens his skills and realizes that not has any of combat. The only thing that he has now is basic healing mag icon vine shackles to immobilize the enemy and blade attacks, that will increase 5% of the effective attack. Our boy, hearing this shits, says that all this is useless and says that the class of Bard is the most weak that exists, since all that he can do is focus for support. Then, he sees in the memory of this boy, realizes that it was because of this that he was always left aside. Only that, in this moment he had to dodge an attack because a creature goes towards him. Our boy says that only managed to do this because of his skills past. He tries again to open his skills to find a way out. And the only thing that he can do now is trust in this hidden ability. While he is dodging the attacks of the creature, says that not knows how to use it. Then he tries to use it on this demon spiteful level B. Only that the system warns that the action failed, because the conditions not were met. Our boy, seeing this, not believes that exists condition. He keeps asking himself if the level of him is too low or if he needs to use on a surface mirrored like that time. Not takes long while this creature is coming to attack him again. Our boy tries again to use the skill, only that this time it fails and the system says to him that his level is too low. Our boy, seeing this, continues without believing, but he realizes that the mirrored world really needs a mirror to be activated. He says that Not can deal with this problem now and will try to use it in another way. He tries to use the skill on the club of this creature. The system warns that the skill of him failed because the level of him very low, only that he continues trying to use on other things. The boy that was helping him says for him to stop using skills useless and warns that Not will withstand for much time. Only that, in this moment, a ray of energy appears in front of them, and from this ray comes out a creature level 10, ready to finish with everyone. The shield bearer, seeing this, says that this monster is insane and says that the person needs to be at the same level as this creature to finish with it. But, as my grandmother used to say, nothing is so bad that Not can get worse because, in this moment, several beams of energy appear in this place, leaving that boy with glasses terrified. Look at the face of this creature. The boy, dying of fear, even falls on the ground because in front of him a demonic horde appeared, and the things will get a little bit serious. Meanwhile, our boy is trying to use that skill. He tried to use even a stone, only that the system warned that the skill failed, then Not takes long and all the creatures go towards them. And our boy keeps asking himself how big is the difference of level for not even on the stone the skill to work. Only that, in this moment he, seeing the despair of that boy, tries to use the skill one more time, only that he uses the mirrored world on the skill of shield of his colleague. But, this time the system warns that it failed, but for a reason, because it says that it is impossible to revert the skill of other players. In this moment our boy gets very happy because, if not can use this skill on other players, means that he can use this skill on himself. Then, again he activates the skill, but this time he is sure that will work. In this moment, the system says that the Vine Shackless was reversed with success. Then, a big energy violet goes out spreading through all this location, and the system already is screaming, warning that he used the chaotic thorns. Meanwhile, the shield bearer is trying to defend himself from that creature, but not takes long, and this monster already takes a punch to get smart. And who gave this punch was another creature, leaving Xiaoji surprised. Seeing this, asks what was that happened, and our boy their back starts to understand how the effect of the skill works and how the Vine Shackles was reversed. Before, it had an effect of immobilizing the enemy, only that, with the enhancement of the reversal, the chaotic thorns have the chance to confuse the enemy. In this moment all these creatures are confused. In this way our boy starts to understand the power of the mirrored skill. In this moment he opens that big smile and says that, before, a skill that was useless, now became completely incredible, and he gets very curious to see how the other skills will be after reversed. Our boy recognizes the immense power of the skill hidden, and he says that the mirrored world really does justice to its form, says that the hidden is SSS. He, looking at the creatures attacking each other, realizes that the effect reverse of the skill not only inverts its effects, but also gives a big enhancement of power. In thought, he says that if had used this skill before reverting, the rate of success of it would be low, because the time of immobilization of the vines not would pass from 1 to 2 seconds. Holding a dagger that he picked up from the ground, concluded that the version original of the skill not would have reached its potential. After thinking about this, he already passes to the next skill. The screen of the system appears showing his skill, and the skill that he will use now is Blade Strike. And our boy keeps asking himself how the other abilities will look after being reversed. Because the Blade Strike increases the attack of one unit by 5%, and upon touching the skill of the mirrored world, he does the inversion of this skill. Upon inverting, it becomes Treacherous Blade. With this, the effect of it changes, and for each MP spent he gains 10% of attack. Our boy opens that big smile and already is activating this skill in this way, leaving the blade of him full of energy, and he gets very happy because just using a magic already gains 10% of attack. The system in this moment warns that the blade was activated and the duration of it is 60 seconds. And our boy asks himself if, while this blade is active, if any other skill that he uses will increase his power of attack. He says that, if this is true, the potential of it is insane, but, in this moment the system warns that he leveled up. Our boy, seeing this, gets even more surprised. He looks to the side and realizes that the monsters already killed themselves because of the confusion, and says that the experience that he gained is very generous, but, in this moment he has to defend himself because one of the demons came to attack him. And our boy is happy because he said that this guy arrived at the perfect time. Then he looks at his status and sees that his HP and his mana are at maximum, and warns that, as leveling up restores his MP, he will use this a lot. He advances in the direction of this creature, and now he will do that farming while the effect of the confusion is active. Not taking long, he uses again the chaotic thorns, and the more he is using, the more his attack goes up. And the system in this moment is beeping like crazy. When he is almost reaching the end of his MP, the blade of our boy is full of energy, and he is even having to hold his arm. With this, the power of our boy increased 120%, and he is finding this completely insane. Then, he looks to the side and sees a creature coming in his direction. Our boy, without fear, already goes towards the creature. Then he says that this skill is absurd. Not taking long, he already makes some cuts on the little creature. Our boy gets surprised with the versatility and the power of accumulation, realizing that this skill breaks all the conventions of the class. He releases a lateral attack with the blade, creating a trail of energy. The speed and the force of the attack indicate the efficacy of the bonus accumulated of 120%. With this, our boy slices through this creature, tearing off all its parts. And outside of the battle is the shield bearer, observing our boy fight. Seeing this battle, he's got a look of fright on his face because he cannot believe what he's seeing. He keeps asking himself if the person he's seeing now is really our boy. And how can a bard of level 5 have this capacity for fighting? Only that our boy is there, continuing to attack with this blade, and with his newly acquired level 6 attributes, he knows that he can take his skills to the limit. Then, our boy goes to the back of this monster while he is cutting the head of the creature, calculating the potential of damage. As he has 120 of MP and every second regenerates 1, he calculates that he can reach up to 130% of damage. After finishing this creature, our boy reflects on the true reach of his skill. With a smile from ear to ear, he is very satisfied with the result, but he knows that, with his current status, he can't deal even with an elite monster level 11. Only that, in this moment while he is confident, a hand starts to come out of the ground and, with an expression a little more serious, our boy realizes that shit is coming his way. And what comes out from the middle of this rubble is a Chimera level 21. The monsters that still have confusion status try to attack the Chimera. Only that the Chimera, irritated, just swats them, finishing off each one. Xiao Ji, seeing this, realizes that things have gone to shit. Only that our boy gets more serious still, because he can't believe that there's a level 21 secret boss in this realm. The Chimera comes to attack our boy, but he prepares himself. He already uses the chaotic thorns on the Chimera to try to stop it. Only that the system warns him that the target is immune to confusion. In this moment, the shield bearer tells our boy to be careful and already goes to the front of him. Then he activates his shield to defend him, and our boy gets surprised with this because when he sees this boy doing that, he remembers someone from his past, and this person always called him idiot, warning him not to go running around like crazy and always asked why he never listened. Only that not long after, Xiao Ji is thrown backward, and his shield is all busted. With this, he is thrown far away, making an enormous impact on the ground. Our boy runs at high speed in his direction and, in thought, keeps asking himself if he is trying to pass out. When he arrives, he realizes that the situation is serious, because the shield bearer is all busted on the pavement. Our boy tries to use basic heal, and while he is healing this boy, the treacherous blade skill is activated, and his attack keeps going up. Every time he heals, the boy's consciousness starts coming back. Our boy uses the basic heal skill, but its effect is shit. The heal gives only 1 HP, but on the other hand the MP cost activates the treacherous blade effect. Only that suddenly he hits a critical and the result is 5 HP. Our boy, looking at his hand, realizes that the heal is pathetic. Then he asks the boy if he has a healing potion. The guy answers that he only has one, but it's in his bag. And our boy just looks to the side and tells him to drink it. And in this moment the system warns that the treacherous blade has 110% attack, but only 8 seconds remain. Our boy looks at the Chimera, and it is destroying the creatures that are in confusion, and he says that he still isn't strong enough to finish this boss. Only that, looking to the side, he realizes that the monsters are already almost done. Then, in this moment he has an idea and says that it's almost time. He looks at Xiao Ji and asks if he can withstand a few more minutes. Xiao Ji, a little recovered, doesn't understand what this crazy guy is talking about, but our boy says that, if he can manage that, the rest will be on him. Not taking long, he's already destroying all the creatures in front of him, moving like a bullet, taking advantage of the remaining time of the treacherous blade. With this, our boy levels up once more, and the system warns that his HP and MP have been successfully restored. Again, our boy uses the treacherous blade, spending the MP he had. After that, he uses the chaotic thorns, increasing his attack power even more. In thought, he says that to defeat the boss he'll need at least 400% extra attack. He calculates that the treacherous blade lasts 1 minute. With this, he just keeps spamming skills. Then he goes on destroying all the creatures appearing in front of him. While he's doing this, his attack power just keeps increasing. Our boy says that he has to use the chaotic thorns 40 times in 50 seconds just to achieve this result. The crazy guy in this moment is insane because he needs to reach at least level 10. Xiao Ji, on the side, stays with his mouth open and can't believe what he's seeing. Our boy just keeps leveling up. When he reaches level 10, the giant Chimera already notices his presence and decides to attack him again. Only that our boy, down there, isn't afraid and already prepares himself right away, because now he is at level 12 and his skill is fully charged. Our boy just waits for the monster's attack to come. Only that, with 9 seconds remaining before the treacherous blade ends, he has 510% extra attack. With this, his eyes start to release that little glow everyone loves. Then he says that it's enough already, and not long after, he's tearing off the arm of that giant Chimera. The Chimera gets a little confused, but our boy doesn't stop and is already preparing to give another attack. This time he has a wide view and attacks the back of the creature. And the only thing that the monster can do is scream in pain. Then this creature tries to turn to attack, only that our boy cuts both its arms off in a rain of blades. When our boy passes by this creature, he's practically satisfied. Then he lands in front of Xiao Ji and this boy's mouth is wide open. He can't believe what he just did because he just defeated a level 21 boss. This boy keeps asking himself if he's still dreaming, because he thinks it would be impossible for a level 5 bard to finish off this monster and clear the secret realm alone. With that, our boy leveled up to level 15, and the system immediately warned that he had defeated the boss of the secret realm. While our boy is collecting the spoils of war, Xiao Ji approaches him and asks if this guy is really Yunsha. Our boy just looks at him and ignores him, then asks how he got so strong like that. Our boy gives him a good look and remembers his old companion because looking closely the two even look alike. Then our boy asks what his relation is to Ben. Xiao Ji is very surprised and asks how he knows his great-grandfather's nickname. Our boy, realizing this information, widens his eyes in disbelief. He can't believe his old friend has a great-grandson. And the only thing he remembers about his friend from the past is that he was an arrogant brat. At that moment, our boy understands that a lot of time has passed, and everyone he once knew was already overthrown by the emperor. Our boy tries to ask about Xiao Ji's great-grandfather, but he just replies that he doesn't want to talk about it right now. Xiao Ji, looking down, says that if he doesn't want to answer his question, he doesn't need to humiliate him. Our boy, hearing this, can't believe it. He wasn't even trying to humiliate him. Feeling a bit insecure, Xiao Ji asks our boy why he's been hiding his strength all this time. But he decides to leave that for later and says they need to go back to school, reminding him that tomorrow they'll visit the Modern History Memorial, and if they skip it, they'll draw too much attention. Our boy stays silent, just listening, but decides to follow his companion's advice. In his thoughts, he says that now isn't the time to reveal his identity. If anyone investigates too deeply, they might start suspecting him. Then he calls Xiao Ji and says they have to leave soon. While they're leaving, our boy keeps thinking about that memorial. The next day, in the middle of the city, our boy thinks that the place must have records of everything that happened when he died. Meanwhile, inside the cable car, the group is having fun, but in the back are our boy and Xiao Ji. Our boy looks around and says that a lot of time has truly passed. Looking through the window, he says that everything he knew has completely changed, and now people can use items from the secret realms. He looks at the buildings and says there are many things he's never seen before. At that moment, he opens his inventory to see what he earned after clearing the secret realm. He equips an item dropped by the boss, the Chimera's Ring. The description says that it allows the user to fuse Chimera limbs with their own body. After examining this item, he checks the skill books and still can't believe they can now be stored in an inventory and even bought or sold outside the secret realm. The skill book he obtained is Body Resistance, which he immediately reverses, turning it into Reversed Body Resistance, becoming a permanent passive skill. But our boy remains thoughtful, realizing that there are still many things that can't be placed in the inventory, since right after they defeated the boss, the secret realm disappeared. Lost in thought, he keeps asking himself what really happened when he died. Not long after, they arrive at the Memorial Museum, and the group is visibly excited. The professor in the back begins to talk about the statue in front of them, but our boy walks off toward another area. The professor explains that this is the statue of the supreme ruler, the emperor who ended the secret realm disaster. His name was Luo Wei. Without delay, the professor calls the group to enter the museum and explains that more than 50 years ago, this place was the battlefield of the famous rebellion war. He also warns that back then monsters caused chaos everywhere, especially those from SSS-Level secret realms. He says everyone lived in fear and, pointing at the wall, tells the emperor's story, how he personally led an army on a mission and even after suffering many casualties, finally managed to conquer that secret realm. But at that time he was betrayed and had to face a rebellion. The professor continues his story with great enthusiasm, saying that the main culprit behind it all was a man called Yun Sha. Our boy gets irritated hearing this and his aura begins to stir. The professor says Yun Sha was the person the king trusted the most, but in the end, he betrayed the empire. Our boy, hearing that, finally understands what happened. This empire was built on a lie. At that moment, his aura manifests even more strongly because he knows the truth. The betrayal came from the very person he once considered a brother. Still, the professor keeps speaking passionately, saying he can't imagine how terrible it must have been to be betrayed in such a situation. With a dramatic gesture, he adds that the king was strong enough to overcome that pain and fought fiercely, with the help of the hero Ding Kuan. After defeating the traitor, the rebellion came to an end. Our boy gets thoughtful hearing that name and now knows who he must go after first, though there's one small problem. He doesn't know who Ding Kuan is. Just then, his thoughts are interrupted when that annoying guy appears and starts asking how the two of them are still alive. Their classmates can't believe it either. They saw the two being thrown into the secret realm. But the guy in the orange jacket says that the news reported the secret realm had already been cleared. He insists that for a realm to be cleared like that, a professional must have passed nearby, saying the two just got lucky. The one in the black shirt agrees. Our boy, standing behind, recognizes them immediately. The crowd from the school, hearing this, can't believe the secret realm actually appeared, but those two just keep watching everything, muttering that it's a shame the other two survived. Then the guy approaches Xiao Ji and says they were lucky to come out alive. But then he tries to intimidate Xiao Ji, leaving him terrified, saying that on that day, Xiao Ji almost killed them by dragging them into the secret realm. He demands to know how Xiao Ji plans to make it up to him. Xiao Ji tries to back away, insisting that it was their fault and that he'll report this harassment. But the guy grabs Xiao Ji by the head and says he must have lost his mind, warning that he still doesn't understand what's happening. Then he orders Xiao Ji to look at the statue in front of him, to remember what happened to his family. He tells him to look closely at his great-grandfather being trampled by the hero. Everyone around says his great-grandfather was a traitor. The guy warns that since he's a descendant of a traitor, no one will ever side with him. Xiao Ji tries to speak, but he's interrupted. The bully starts making a scene saying they can insult him all they want, but they must not insult the memory of his grandfather. Xiao Ji looks at the situation completely lost, wondering what the hell just happened, and the crowd that is around just wants to see the circus catch fire. Only that our boy back there just stays observing all this because he is after a certain person. The crowd around realizes what is happening and says that the one beside Xiao Ji is the descendant of the hero, and asks how the descendant of a traitor can disrespect a hero. The crowd says that his great-grandfather overturned several people, and if the hero had not interfered in this, several people would have been overturned. But the extra continues with the scene just to call attention, saying that it doesn't matter what they say behind his back, but warns them not to insult his grandfather in front of him. And in the most inconvenient moment, the professor appears, telling Xiao Ji to ask for forgiveness. He touches Xiao Ji's shoulder and says that the hero spared his family and warns that if he is not grateful to the hero, then at least he should not insult him. With this, Xiao Ji feels alone. Only that, it doesn't take long, and the extra appears again and grabs Xiao Ji's head. And the extra warns that if they fight in front of everyone, nobody would take his side, and says that nobody would help a crazy dog, especially one that everyone hates. Then he starts pulling Xiao Ji's hair and asks if he still thinks that a descendant of the hero like him is wrong. Then he closes his fist and decides to give a punch to Xiao Ji and, putting on an act, says that this is for the honor of his grandfather. Only that, at this moment, the extra is interrupted by a boot. It doesn't take long and he goes flying far away, and who gave that kick was our boy. Xiao Ji, seeing this, can't believe what just happened. And our boy, standing there, asks if the hero's family doesn't have time to educate their children. The crowd, seeing our boy, asks if he really is Yunsha because they say he looks totally different from before. And the crowd around asks if he already went crazy because they think he also wants to insult the hero's family by saying that. Only that the crowd, seeing the situation, finds something strange because until yesterday he was level 5 and was the weakest of the class. And they already start asking themselves if he really went crazy for hitting Ding Su, because they say he has no father, no mother, and no one by his side. And now, probably he already went crazy for good. Meanwhile, the extra there on the ground keeps smiling. He starts cleaning the dirt off his face and says that our boy is just a punching bag, and that he should be grateful that he's not going after him, and warns that he only managed to hit him because he was distracted. But at this moment, the crowd goes after our boy, saying they'll finish both of them. Only that our boy already prepares himself and starts to farm that aura. Then, in seconds, he starts throwing punches at each one, knocking them down, and with that the extra falls to the ground clutching his belly. And our boy just stays there observing him retching. Then he asks what his excuse is now because before he was distracted, and now, did he let a coin fall? And the crowd back there starts asking what just happened because Yunsha just defeated 4 people. Even the extra drooling ketchup starts asking himself how he did that. And the crowd back there that didn't manage to see what happened, already starts asking what was that. And since they were knocked down by a bard, they start asking themselves if Ding Su is really that weak. Upon hearing this, the boy gets perplexed. Then he enters into fury, starts to release a red aura and asks how the useless level 5 can be stronger than him. With this fury status, Ding Su increases his attack power by 25%. The guy already pulls from his inventory his hammer and says that our boy only had luck. And this hammer gives him 314 attack. Then with that dead fish face he goes toward our boy. Only that our boy doesn't retreat and says that his guard is totally open. Then he prepares himself and throws another big punch right on his chin. At that moment he starts to enter a state of unconsciousness and, before fainting, says that this is impossible. Only that when he's about to fall to the ground, our boy gives him a kick, making him pass out for good. It doesn't take long and a museum guard appears and asks what is happening in this place. And the only thing he manages to see is our boy standing, humiliating the extra. And the crowd around is saying that Ding Su is unconscious, asking if anyone knows a healer. The people say that was too fast, and a girl asks her colleague if he hadn't said that the guy was only level 5. The crazy guy says there was no way for him to know and that he probably must have hidden his level. And this little blonde here already gets surprised to see our boy doing that. Then the security guard looks at the professor and says that fighting in the museum is not allowed, and asks him if he can't control his students. Then the professor at this moment goes toward the two and tells him to stop this fight, and asks if just insulting the hero wasn't enough and now he also wants to attack the hero's descendant. Then the professor says to our boy that he is shameless, already starts to take an item from his inventory and says he will teach him a lesson. Only that our boy just looks at the director preparing that aura. The professor tries to attack him, only that our boy already uses that item and defends himself, breaking the professor's weapon. The people around can't believe what they just saw. At this moment, our boy gives a lesson to this professor, saying that he only heard one side of the story, asking if he's trying to kiss up to that extra's family. The professor orders him to stop talking nonsense and asks how he could do that. Only that, in this moment, he looks at our boy's hand and realizes he's holding an artifact. The professor says he didn't use all his strength, but in thought, he says that the boy wasn't supposed to be able to block his attack. Only that our boy keeps farming his aura and warns the professor who was just talking, saying that he doesn't seem like someone who goes around kissing up to everyone. The professor at this moment tries to make an excuse and says that he will find out what happened, but in thought, he's asking himself where the boy got that item. Then our boy looks at the Chimera ring and sees that its durability is already down by 37%. In thought, he says that even being an epic class item, it's just the item of a level 21 boss. And at the moment, he's not strong enough to face the level 35 professor. Then our boy says goodbye to the professor and says that, as punishment, these two are the only ones to be expelled from the museum. The professor stays speechless and just watches our boy leave. Meanwhile, he's calling Xiao Ji to go with him. The crowd back there can't even believe that he is really Yun Sha and keeps saying this is bullshit, because they still can't believe he managed to block the professor's attack. Meanwhile, Xiao Ji just follows him. After some minutes, the professor asks if there's any healer in this place, saying to heal the extra quickly. Meanwhile, outside, our boy waits for Xiao Ji, and at this moment he is a little revolted because he realizes that none of his friends survived. Then he looks at Xiao Ji and the only thing he sees in this boy is a face full of admiration. Then our boy realizes that he must answer any kind of question now. Our boy says that he is not very good in history and asks Xiao Ji to tell more of the story of the hero Jing Kuan. Nervous, he says that he does not remember the story very well, but he says that, from what he heard, it seems that he discovered the traitor's plan in advance. Then he set up an ambush near the SSS-Rank portal, and with this, he managed to stop the rebellion. Our boy, hearing this story, starts to remember what happened, because when he finished all the battle in that portal, it started to close, and when the secret realm was closing, they were ambushed by some people and everyone was massacred. Our boy was exhausted at that time, and only he managed to survive for longer. Then, Xiao Ji continues with the story and says that the hero defined an objective of finishing that dungeon. For this reason, he trained very hard and after being promoted by the king, fought across the territory for years, saving regions from various disasters, mainly the famous cataclysm of Winter City. In this moment, our boy remembers that city and remembers that it was he who defeated those creatures practically alone. Only that a little later, our boy makes the last question and asks about the hero's sword. Xiao Ji says that it was used to kill the traitor and that it is supposedly an elite weapon. Only that our boy does not even believe this because besides him taking credit for his conquest, he still used to steal his sword. And our boy is a little bit furious because before he was sure of overturning this guy, but now he will be the first on the list. Then, far from this museum and a mansion on the outside of the Ding family property, there is a crowd all equipped walking and doing surveillance. Only that in this moment, that little blonde looks back and realizes that someone is observing them, and this someone is two children trying to disguise themselves. Then the crazy guy scratches his head and says that they are just kids. In this way he decides to let them go. Our boy pauses and looks closely at this person, and says that this wanderer must have a detection skill. Xiao Ji, scared, says that it is better they leave this place, warning that there are many guards. Even if they manage to enter, if Ding Su finds the two of them they will be screwed. But our boy remains thoughtful and says that he wants to overthrow this guy called the hero with his own hands. Only that, according to Xiao Ji, he is living in a high-level portal and, at this time, it is not the same as in his past life, when he could enter and leave a portal freely, because the army takes care of high-level portals and to enter those portals you need a pass. Then he imagines that in Ding Su's house there must be one of those passes. Our boy looks at Xiao Ji and asks if it's really necessary to have so many guards, and asks if they aren't just descendants of Ding Kuan's family. Xiao Ji says that they really are descendants of the hero and that their house even has a portal. Our boy, hearing that, doesn't understand. Xiao Ji tells him that low-level portals are bought and sold in secret, but without power or influence most people can't even dream of that. He warns that Ding Su brings his guards to school to hunt monsters and level up whenever he wants. But ordinary students can only level up during portal training, and they still have to fight for that. Our boy, seeing this nonsense, says that times have really changed. Then, while walking through that place, he asks Xiao Ji if he means that the richer a person is, the more powerful they become. And Xiao Ji answers yes. He warns that most normal people graduate between level 15 to 20 and that after graduation, they can't even enter portals, so their level stops there. He also says that if you get a job related to portals, like official portal miner or forest patroller, you might reach level 30 by middle age. He says that Ding Su's family guards gain experience in the family's portal, so they're around level 30. Aside from those people, usually only those who enter the army can keep leveling up. And there are also those who manage to pass exams to enter a guild. Our boy, hearing that, says that the only thing he wants is to get stronger. Then he says he needs that pass. But Xiaoji only wants to go home right now. He says that, with this level difference, no matter how skilled someone is, they can't defeat a guard. But our boy stays silent, because in his mind he knows that, with his current strength, he's far from being able to topple the hero. Not to mention that he also wants to topple the Supreme King, who is very well protected. But our boy tells Xiaoji that explorer abilities around level 30 are usually short-range abilities, like eagle vision, sharp hearing, and spirit summoning. Then he says that there aren't enough guards to cover the whole property, and also says that this portal isn't dangerous enough to risk one's life, since most guards are lazy, and he says that entering is probably possible. But his companion next to him keeps asking who he's calling lazy. At that moment, our boy is already on top of the wall. And in his thoughts he says that compared to the networks of knowledge from the past, what he's seeing now is really quite weak. But Xiaoji, down below, says that even if he enters a private portal he could be killed without any consequence. At that moment, our boy grabs Xiaoji's shirt and pulls him up. Then he asks if he doesn't want to change his life. Xiaoji says he does, but warns that it would only happen if he entered a guild. Then our boy asks him if entering that thing would really change his life, because in this place, everyone knows him as the great-grandson of the traitor. Xiaoji, hearing that, feels a bit disappointed because he knows it's true. Our boy puts him on top of that wall and says that his fate can only be changed by himself. Then he starts leaving that place and says he won't let this opportunity slip by, and tells Xiaoji that he'll have to decide, follow him or not. Our boy feels a little confident and wonders what Ben's grandson's decision will be. Xiaoji, sweating cold, wonders what he should do. But it doesn't take long for him to make a decision. He runs toward our boy and says he won't let him topple alone. Our boy stops in front and tells him to stay quiet. He looks all around and sees no signs of detection abilities. He grabs Xiaoji again and starts jumping over those buildings. In his mind he says that as long as they stay quiet, no one will notice them. And that's so true that they pass right by people, and the people can't even sense their presence. Some time passes, they stop somewhere, and Xiaoji is scratching his head, not believing it actually worked. Then Xiaoji looks forward and sees something unexpected, because at that moment they found the portal. Our boy looks at that portal and sees shadow demons level 8. Then the two of them enter that place, and our boy says there aren't many monsters and that the place is probably cleaned regularly by Ding Su's people. Xiaoji hides behind a tombstone, and our boy tells him there are only two small groups and already orders Xiaoji to attack. Xiaoji gets scared, a little nervous, not believing that guy wants him to fight that creature. Some time passes, and Xiaoji is using his shield to defend himself, already complaining to our boy, saying he can't believe he trusted him. The monster starts approaching Xiaoji, and Xiaoji keeps complaining, saying he shouldn't have come. It doesn't take long before the creatures get furious and start attacking him even more. But our boy, from behind, tells Xiaoji to try to attack them. Xiaoji says he can't do it, that he has no chance. But our boy says that as long as he's watching, nothing will go wrong. Then his companion starts to gain a little more confidence and decides to attack the creature, hitting it with his shield. But suddenly, another creature comes from behind to attack him. Then he gets surprised by what just happened. He managed to dodge the monster's attack. Our boy already knew he could do that. In his thoughts he says that this boy is quite talented, but because of fear, he panics and easily can't defend himself. But his spatial awareness is surprising, and our boy, looking at him, says it always looks dangerous, but he somehow never gets hit. His companion, fighting those creatures, gets irritated and says he can't take it anymore. But our boy decides to end it and goes slashing everyone down. Surprised, Xiaoji looks at his stats and says he leveled up. Then our boy approaches him and says that experience is divided based on contribution, and if he doesn't help kill the creatures he won't get experience. And our boy seems a bit happy with the weapon he got, because now he's hitting with more precision. When the commotion ends, Xiaoji approaches, and our boy asks him how he distributed his points. Xiaoji says he balanced everything except spirit. Our boy, looking at him, asks if shielders don't usually ignore agility. Then Xiaoji says that if he doesn't put points in it, no one at school will want to team up with him, because no one wants to wait for a slow tank. And when he gets to the spot, the others have already finished killing the monsters. Our boy, looking at Xiaoji, tells him to think long-term, saying that advanced classes at level 60 all have attribute requirements. For example, the Fortified Bastion class requires 60 endurance and 90 defense, so you can't distribute points randomly. Xiao Ji, with that dumb look, says that most people only reach level 40 and asks who's going to reach level 60, saying that only an S-ranker can do that. Then our boy pats his companion's shoulder and says that from now on, he can start thinking about becoming an S-ranker. Xiao Ji's eyes start to widen, surprised by what he's saying, because our boy tells him to think beyond S-rank as well. Then, in his thoughts, our boy says that now he has to think about his own class advancement too. He opens his system and says that his support class only changed thanks to his hidden ability. He also says that unless something unexpected happens, he'll probably want to change classes. But then he sees something interesting. His hidden ability gained 2000 experience, and now he's wondering if that ability can actually level up and how much benefit he'll get from that. Then, at that moment, our boy decides to take advantage of this opportunity and starts cutting everything in front of him to increase the skill level. But suddenly he is surprised because the monster whose head he just cut off counterattacked. So our boy realizes that it's not down yet. He looks at the big monster's status and sees that it still has a little HP left, but unfortunately for him the attack bonus ran out, and with some difficulty he manages to finish that monster off. At that moment he realizes that although it's powerful, he can't use it in long fights, simply because he doesn't have enough energy for long battles. But then he sees that he leveled up. He says that, at first that's good, but after a certain level it'll get a little harder. With that, the system starts showing him everything he has toppled so far, and he realizes that by killing monsters he can increase the skill level. But suddenly something catches his attention. So our boy decides to go to a higher place to get more information. Hidden on top of that hill he sees two guards passing by. In his mind he says that the family guards have been patrolling more frequently. He keeps wondering if the guards already noticed that he infiltrated this place. Xiao Ji beside him warns that there are few monsters in this area and that if the patrol keeps going like this, their chances of getting caught will only increase. In his thoughts, our boy says that he's right because while he's fighting monsters he also needs to stay alert, and on top of that he has to calculate the time and duration of the rancorous blade. He realizes that this is a bit too much for him. Then he remembers that in his inventory there's a skill book, and that skill is practically useless. It's called Mono's Brick Art. He decides to invert that skill and it changes to phase shift, which allows objects the size of a brick to pass through surfaces. Our boy, seeing this skill, says that it's useless for combat. He looks at his skill to check its progress and notices that it's still 30% away from leveling up. Our boy stands up and says that even at level 1, this skill is already too strong, and he keeps wondering how strong it will become after leveling up. He looks ahead and decides to kill the lord of that realm, because he knows that if he can topple that creature, he'll be able to level up that skill, since he thinks that in other realms he won't get the same experience he's getting here. He decides to go see the lord in the central area, but in that area there are people watching, and they have even used their spirit summoning abilities to guard that place. And the only thing our boy and his companion can do is sneak through that area, since they noticed that the tracking abilities are stronger there. But suddenly he sees something. Through a crack he sees the lord and keeps wondering why the lord is like that. Xiao Ji says that the lord was subdued, and it's the first time he's seeing that too. He says that at school the teachers stay on guard around the lord, so students can't get close to him. He warns our boy that the chains must be some kind of high-level item. Our boy thinks about that, but he has already made his decision. He notices that there are many guards around the lord, and if he attacks that creature now, he'll draw everyone's attention. He knows that with his current level, he can't defeat the lord while being attacked from all sides. He decides to make a plan. Then he sees a certain little guard taking a pee. So, stealthily, our boy approaches him while the guard is unprotected. It doesn't take long and that guard is subdued, then taken near Xiao Ji. Our boy approaches him and says that the only thing he wants right now is information, and he already orders that little guard to tell the truth. The guard panics and asks what he wants to know, saying he'll tell him everything, claiming that the Ding family doesn't even pay him that well. Our boy has that bored face thinking it was too easy. So he decides to ask the first question, which is about the pass to the hero's realm. And the man says that there are several of those in the great-grandfather's office and that they're not that rare. The guard feels awkward and thinks he must be a fan of the hero. But our boy gets a little irritated and increases his aura. The desperate guard says that it's true, that he has seen many times the great-grandfather taking the passes from the office. But he warns our boy that they are all temporary passes and don't have any kind of personal data. And he immediately warns that if someone unknown goes with him, he'll definitely be stopped by the guards. Our boy grabs that guard and says that's none of his business because the only thing he wants is the pass. Then, with all the politeness our boy has, he orders that guard to take off his armor and everything in his inventory. Some time passes and they're leaving the Jean family's dungeon. Our boy, holding the book, asks that guy if that's all he has. The man replies yes, saying that the Ding family is quite stingy. He says they take everything that drops from the realm, and the only things they get are leftovers. And that is a passive skill with permanent use, saying that within 10 seconds after being healed, his defense will decrease by 3%. And it's not cumulative. It doesn't take long before he inverts that skill. And at that moment, it changes to a stolen one, saying that within 15 seconds after using a healing skill, his attack will increase by 6%. That's also not cumulative, and it doesn't take long. Then our boy looks ahead and sees some guards near the mansion. The guy beside them says that's the Ding family's internal guard. He warns that if there's no summon, the guards can't enter. And he already warns our boy that it's under Ding Su's authority. All others in the family are level 30 and above, with elite equipment. But the only thing our boy wants right now is to know if he can get a pass inside that residence. The guard, looking at the dialogue in our boy's hand, says he can't do that because the head of the family is inside. Then with that small scheme he explains the whole situation, saying that the head of the family is level 42 and immediately warns that he can't even dream of defeating him. He says that the family hierarchy is the great-grandfather at level 57, the third master at 52, the main master at 42, and the second master at 42, excluding Ding Su, the useless one who's level 17. He warns our boy that the third master and the great-grandfather are away on business and that if they come back early, it'll be dangerous. But our boy becomes quite thoughtful about that, since he knows that entering the residence means facing someone much stronger than him right now. Then our boy throws that unconscious man on the ground, tells Xiao Ji to stay there, and says that he'll lure everyone into the secret realm and asks him to keep watch. So, our boy decides to enter the family's realm again, because now he has a plan and will use the high-level chain to control the Lord, and says that as long as he lives, the realm won't disappear. He looks at a little guard who was totally distracted and realizes that they left that guard watching the lock. Again, our boy takes that dialogue and goes toward that guy, saying that it's a very good method, if no one is stupid enough to unlock the lock. It doesn't take long and our boy uses the dialogue on that extra and immediately topples him, covering his mouth so he can't make any noise. The people beside the Lord start feeling something and see that the chains are shaking. And the one doing that is our boy, shaking the chains because in his plan he has to lure the main master to that place. That's the only way he decided to do it. And at that moment, the Lord goes berserk and stands up to attack everyone. The people start wondering what's happening, realizing that the Lord went into berserker mode. With all that chaos going on, our boy got what he wanted and lured the guy with the mustache out of the residence, since he's ordering all the guards to go in and subdue the Lord. Xiao Ji in the back is surprised that his plan worked. And with that, our boy is satisfied, because now he'll be able to enter the inner residence. Some time passes, and at the entrance of the Jing family, a group has just arrived and the servant is already receiving them, and the ones getting out of that car are the second master and that brat Ding Su. The boy looks a bit upset since the mustached man was angry that he got beaten up, and even worse by someone everyone thought was useless. But the old man says he only picked him up because he was on the way, showing how little he cared about the situation. But it doesn't take long and he goes smiling toward the car, already opening the door and greeting the people inside. And the ones who just got out of that car were those two who had been keeping an eye on our boy. The guy greets them politely, telling them to make themselves comfortable. But suddenly he sees something that really bothers him. Then he decides to kick the servant standing in front of the house, telling him not to get in the way. After that little scene, he heads straight toward the mansion with the girls, leaving the poor servant lying on the ground. Near a tree, Xiao Ji is watching all of this. But suddenly, our boy appears out of nowhere, surprising him and asks what's going on, if he's not allowed to go in just because the Ding family came back. Then our boy asks what kind of face he's making. But Xiao Ji is really shocked that he showed up so fast. Our boy explains that it was because of the Lord. Even though he's level 30, it's still not easy to capture him alive. But he says that without his interference, they wouldn't be able to subdue the Lord anytime soon. Then he asks Xiao Ji if he saw anything. Out of the corner of his eye, Xiao Ji points to someone. He says that person is his uncle. Our boy is surprised by that. His friend explains that back when Yunsha rebelled, his whole family was wiped out, but in a way that spared them an even worse humiliation. Hearing that, our boy breaks into a cold sweat. Xiao Ji keeps explaining that ever since then, the rest of his family has suffered constant humiliation by the Empire, and under the hero Ding Kuan's orders, people began persecuting his family even more brutally. In the end, the only option they had was to bow down and become servants of the Ding family. He says that sometimes his family was paraded around just so the hero's family could show off their generosity. He ends by saying that the Qiao family always depended on the Ding family just to keep living. He remembers there was a time when his family tried to change things, but it didn't go as planned. The result was that his father went insane, and his uncle became a dog of the Jin family. Hearing that, our boy gets even angrier, but Xiao Ji, trembling, asks if they really should have come to this place. Our boy decides to leave that aside for now and says that he has to go to the inner residence. His friend says that the second master of the family is inside the residence and reminds him that he's level 42 and fully geared, warning that he'll definitely get knocked out if he goes in there. But our boy replies that in a time when the secret realms are under control, there's no hope for a turnaround without taking risks. He says that if he hesitates, he'll never accomplish anything. He turns to Xiao Ji and says he can help him, but he'll have to do one thing, and that's make a decision right now. He says he chose to resist, but he won't force Xiao Ji to do the same. Xiao Ji, scared, says he wants to change things, but reminds him that on the other side is a noble and powerful family, and asks if they can really face them. But our boy gets ready and says that the only thing he wants right now is to destroy the entire empire. Hearing that, Xiao Ji freezes. He can't believe what he just said. Then, with a burst of energy, he rushes toward the mansion. Inside the mansion, the second master has already received the news and is asking how the lord of the secret realm managed to escape. The girl who came to visit asks her uncle if he's busy, and if he is, she can come back another day. Smiling, her uncle says his older brother can handle it because compared to a mere lord of a secret realm, the girl in front of him is far more important. Her name is Yuncha. Then he says that after learning she was coming, his father and third brother decided to return home early. With a dumb smile on his face, he says his brother is enough to take care of it. He also says he's already contacted his grandfather and that the old man is very curious to meet her. Meanwhile, our boy is hiding on the second floor listening to the whole conversation. He looks at the girls and realizes they have a lot of influence. He starts to connect the dots. They have the same last name as him, and wonders if that's just a coincidence or if they might be related. But he decides to leave that for later and says he has to focus on finding the card. Suddenly, that black-haired woman looks up. It seems she sensed something. A little later, two maids are chatting, and guess what our boy is doing? He's following them. Then, sneakily, he slips into a room and starts searching around. He sees that the office is huge and he realizes it'll take a bit of time to find anything. But outside, a group is coming out of the portal, and the man who seems to be the leader is finally relieved, saying they managed to subdue the Lord of the Realm. But the guy notices something and says it seems like someone intentionally freed him. Now that everything's calm, he mutters that it doesn't make sense to risk his life for a high-level item. So he switches to emergency mode and orders the entire residence to be sealed off. But in his thoughts, he remembers there's a guest, so he decides not to bother the girl. Meanwhile, our boy is still inside the residence, and he's found something. The only thing he wanted was the card, but he still hasn't found it. At that moment, he decides to use his skill, Phase Shift. He's using it on that drawer to see if he can find something. When he opens it, he finds something interesting. He picks up some books and sees that one is a diary. But deeper inside, he finds some skill books and says he's not leaving empty-handed. The one that catches his attention the most is this one, Slow Light. Its description says it reduces the enemy's speed by 20% in a 20-meter radius. That's perfect for him because outside the mansion is being locked down, and all the guards are on watch. Xiao Ji, noticing this, starts wondering if they've already found our boy. He's getting nervous and says this is dangerous. The number of guards just keeps growing and warns that if our boy doesn't escape now, he won't make it out at all. In his thoughts, he says that if he doesn't escape and they catch him, there'll be no reason to keep him alive. Then he starts remembering something from the past, when his mother was protecting him from the family head. And in his mind, he says the only thing he can do now is leave without drawing attention. But just then, as the guards are moving around, he gets a crazy idea. He remembers our boy telling him that he could help, but only if he made a decision first. And now he makes that decision. He takes off his mask and starts yelling. Hearing the shouting, the guards realize there's an intruder, and everyone starts running after Xiao Ji. While he's running, he's only thinking about our boy and says he'll distract everyone. He just has to make sure not to get caught. At that moment, our boy is jumping out the window. He looks to the side and smirks because he sees Xiao Ji running and feels glad. His friend finally made his choice. While everyone is watching our boy flee, he just keeps provoking them, shouting for them to come after him if they dare. The guards, provoked, rush after him, determined to take him down. But our boy decides to use that skill again. While he's fleeing at high speed, he reverses it, and now it reduces the enemy's speed by 30% in a 30-meter radius. At that moment, the mustached guy behind sees our boy escaping and already knows where he's heading. So he sends teams 2 and 3 back to the dungeon to protect the Lord. Through a mental link, Xiao Ji asks our boy why he's moving away from everyone. And through that same connection, our boy says that there are a lot of guards there, so they've probably already subdued the Lord. And for them to have done that, the fight must have been fierce. The Lord must be on his last legs by now. So our boy decides to finish their job. That way he goes back into the portal again since now he just wants to level up his skill. And he says that if he manages to kill the Lord, his goal will be complete. Meanwhile, at the extra's residence, the folks are having some tea, and the girl says it's a mess outside and tells her uncle there's no need to stay in this place with her. The man says it's fine and tells her it's just some thieves, and that soon his brother will take care of it. But while he's saying that, his brother is outside trying to deal with some chaos, and the guards are yelling like crazy. Then he orders everyone to move aside because he'll handle the situation himself. After that, he dashes toward the Lord and already sends the rogues and archers after him. It doesn't take long before our boy notices that people are chasing him, and in his thoughts he says that every time a person levels up, they get 3 points to use. He put half of those points into agility, and that's why he's able to run so well. Besides, he also has a skill that boosts his speed, and that's exactly what he's using right now. Then he jumps to get away from everyone and says that, around level 30, only rogues and archers can catch up to him. But soon enough, no one manages to catch him, and he's already reached the place where the Lord is being subdued, surrounded by a group protecting him. He notices that the Lord is sealed, and everyone there is afraid to hurt him since this is the moment when he's weakest. And that's exactly what our boy was waiting for. So, he tells himself he just needs to focus and give it his all to defeat the Lord with a single strike. But just then, the group protecting the Lord discovers his location, and that girl in pink armor warns her team that he's arrived and orders everyone to get in formation. They don't take long to prepare for battle, but our boy is ready too. He activates his thorn skill and throws it toward everyone. The people at the front start wondering what kind of skill that is. But then the system notifies our boy that the judgment failed because most people here are immune to confusion. One of the warriors says that humans aren't as resistant to status effects as monsters are, but it's still not as easy to use them as it is on monsters. But suddenly, a little mage casts an explosion on everyone, and the group panics since their formation has been broken. One of the warriors looks back and says it's impossible, that mage was affected by confusion status, and he says that our boy's skill effect is absurdly abnormal. But while he's worrying about that little mage, our boy is just slipping through everyone since that's his goal. He needs to reach the Lord. When they see that he got close to the Lord, everyone panics and starts wondering why the control skills didn't work on him. Then our boy looks back and realizes their teamwork is garbage. He even wonders if they got rusty because of all this peace. The warriors closest to the Lord try to stay calm and say he's just a man. One of them orders the others to restrain our boy because if they manage that, he'll be done for. But right at that moment, Mustache Guy shows up and tells everyone to hold it. He doesn't waste time, he pulls his armor out of his inventory and equips it. Then he activates his flame ability all over his body and charges straight at our boy with his axe. But our boy is focused only on one goal. So, he starts blocking the warrior's attacks, and when he looks to the side he realizes he'll have to use that item. He decides to remove the chains that bound the Lord and use them to attack. In his thoughts he says he doesn't have the required level to use them, but for now, it'll do. Along with the chains, he decides to use the artifact he got from the Chimera, wrapping the chains around the arm he just projected and using them as momentum to get closer to the Lord. But it doesn't take long before the Mustache Guy uses a flame skill and throws it right at our boy, and all he can do now is defend himself. But in his mind he says this is perfect. With this much power he'll be able to break the seal. Then he's thrown backward, flying toward the Lord. Our boy gets really happy because he knows he did it. So, he gathers every bit of energy to deliver a single strike, since he realizes the Lord is extremely weak. He even thanks the Mustache Guy for the assist. Mustache Guy, furious in the back, yells asking how he dares do that. But our boy goes all in toward the Lord, unleashes a powerful attack to finish him off, and says out loud that the XP from this beast will be his. After that strike, the Lord is sliced apart, and our boy stands there farming aura. After defeating the Lord, our boy levels up and decides to check his hidden skill. It's already advanced to level 2. The Mustache Guy, who was already pissed, becomes furious and charges at our boy. While he's standing still watching the chaos he caused, everyone rushes toward him. But our boy isn't worried at all. The system is asking him something right now, and of course he answers yes. When the Mustache Guy gets close to him, our boy vanishes. When that happens, everyone around him is left completely confused. Then suddenly our boy appears in another realm, and the system immediately warns him that he's inside the mirror world. He looks around and sees projections of the real world. Then he opens the system window and starts to understand everything, that now he'll be able to rest for half an hour. Looking around he notices everything is reversed. He tries to touch someone but realizes they're just illusions. It doesn't take long before he starts observing even more about this place, just to figure out what's real and what's not. Then the system warns him that this is a mirror stone and that it can be taken into the real world. He deduces that after the skill reached level 2, he can now take certain things from the mirror world, and he finds that really interesting, thinking there must be something valuable here. So, he wonders if the system will change somehow from now on. At this moment he opens up his skill window. The system shows the skills he has, and he notices there are some inactive ones. He taps on them to see what's written, but the system immediately warns him that he hasn't learned them yet. So, he deduces that these are inverted forms of all his skills, and now he's got another goal, to learn them in the real world so he can activate them. Then he says that these new skills will really help with his main objective, but suddenly he hears a noise. When he looks back to see what it is, there are several souls wandering around that place and he starts wondering what's going on. At that moment he remembers his past when he got trapped in this place, but it doesn't take long before a burning skeleton comes rushing toward him. Our boy quickly gets ready with his treacherous blade and realizes that all the warriors who were killed here turned into undead and came to the mirror world. So he slashes at the skeleton to finish it off quickly, but soon he realizes these creatures aren't that strong. And when he finishes one off, the system immediately notifies him of something, and it's an undead contract. The system asks if he wants to accept or cancel. Our boy is tempted, and of course he won't refuse, because he realizes that after defeating this creature, he can take it outside with him. Now he's finding this level 2 mirror world really interesting, since when he looks up, he sees several souls wandering around. And yeah, my friends, as if showing up looking like Sung Jin-woo wasn't enough, now he's got the same undead summoning skill as him. But let's see where this story goes, because from what I've read ahead, things get a little insane. Back in the real world, the group is wondering where our boy ended up. They have no idea how he disappeared like that, and someone asks if it was a stealth skill, but the rogue next to them says that's impossible, explaining that stealth skills have physical form and a time limit, so there's no way it could go unnoticed like that. Mustache guy comes in angry, grabs his own head and asks what they think about this skill. How could so many people let him escape? Then he warns the guy with the little haircut that if no one finds our boy, he'll have to pay for that secret realm himself. But at that moment, someone else appears watching everything. Mustache guy looks to the side, and so does the one with the little haircut, who feels a bit relieved since he won't have to shell out money to pay the old man. Our boy looks at the system and sees that half an hour has passed, and he can't believe he's back in the exact same spot where he left. So he wonders if there's another condition for appearing in a different place. But then the old man shouts and orders everyone to catch him. Our slick guy starts gathering green energy and tells everyone to relax, saying that after being chased for so long, he deserves a little revenge. Then he releases all the spirits toward them and everyone starts asking, what the hell are those things? The mustache old man tells everyone to stay calm, saying they're undead, and that he's seen plenty of them in his lifetime. But the dude with the shield is having a bit of trouble with his opponent, until he notices that the skeleton has a status bar and is only level 20. The old man keeps telling everyone to stay calm and then orders them to capture our boy, saying that whoever manages to do it will get a raise. Hearing that, the group gets excited. But when they look at where our boy was standing, the spot is empty. While they were distracted with the skeletons, our boy was already slipping out of there. In his thoughts, he says the undead are still low level, and if he had any high level undead, none of those scumbags would stand a chance. Still, he's relieved. Out of all the ones he found there, he managed to get the 20 strongest. But he says the problem now is something else. Since the mirror world has an exploration limit, after entering, a person can only move within a 200-meter radius. So he realizes he'll have to enter that world in another place to see if he can get any higher level undead. While he's escaping, he sees two people, and one of them is someone he knows. That trashy little warrior is holding Xiao Ji and says he's really good at hiding. He says he has no idea what kind of reward they'll get for him, but he's going to enjoy it a lot. But I'm telling you, he won't be enjoying anything because right then our boy stabs him with a blade, freeing Xiao Ji. Xiao Ji, seeing that, is shocked, but our boy grabs him and says they need to leave. It's time to go back since they have to check his reward. Meanwhile, inside the secret realm, the group is having even more trouble fighting the skeletons. One of the warriors just managed to take one down, and you might be wondering why they're struggling so much. It's simple. The guards say they're not that strong, but every time they die, it doesn't take long before they come back again. Then, a wave of energy sweeps through the entire area, destroying all the skeletons. Everyone is surprised, and the one who did it was the third master of the Ding family. He says those creatures are summons, and even if they revive, they must drain a lot of mana from the user. His solution is simple. They just need to kill those things a few more times. Once everything is settled, back at the inner residence of the extras, an old man asks if Miss Yuncha has returned. That guy with the split mustache says yes and apologizes to his father for not being able to make her stay at the residence. He says the intruder was very arrogant, not only yelling outside, but also damaging one of the residence windows. Hearing that, the old man can't believe it and asks him how that intruder managed to get into the house. That guy is none other than the son of the great hero Ding Kuan and the Grand Master of the Jin family. He says they not only failed to capture the intruder but also couldn't even figure out what he looked like. So, the old man asks him what he was doing at the time. The guy stays bowed and apologizes, but says that Miss Yuncha has already agreed to go to the hero's secret realm, meaning at least the matter with her grandfather is settled. Then the old man decides to put an end to it, saying that once they find out who that person is, they'd better take him down immediately. After that conversation, he orders the split mustache guy to find out what else was stolen. Far from that place, our boy is checking the temporary pass registered under Xiao Ji's name. He says that now that he's got the pass, he just needs someone to go with him into the hero's secret realm. But he says it's not urgent, so he starts thinking about something else. He says he managed to reach level 20, and even though the Chimera ring is almost breaking, it's already at 94%, he managed to get some interesting stuff, like a dozen skill books. Most of the skills he got are support type, and one of them he finds really good, Battle Song. Critical rate increases by 8%, critical damage increases by 15, and defense decreases by 20. And you already know what he's going to do. Of course he's going to invert that skill. Now it became Shield Song. His defense increased by 30%, critical damage taken decreased by 23, and critical rate decreased by 1. With that, our boy gets really happy since with just his stats he can crush anyone at his level. Besides that, the Lord dropped that little card and a rare level piece of equipment that reduces spirit by 3, increases physical defense by 900 and magic defense by 1500. But there's something much more important that made our boy really happy, the evolution of his hidden skill. In his thoughts he says that with the undead he's gathered, his power has increased significantly. Only that he knows that this still is not enough to kill that person because, judging by the equipment of that statue, the hero is at least a rank S of Berserker class, and he knows that he needs at least to make a contract with the undead of the same level and also needs to pass level 50 to have a chance of overturning that guy. Only that in this moment, Xiao Ji calls him and asks if they are safe. Our boy gives that little look at him and already tells him to relax right away, saying that nobody saw them, since their faces were covered. Xiao Ji gets a little disappointed, but he doesn't complain. Our boy, looking at him, notices that he is still anxious, but he knows that he can't blame him, especially at this age. Then our boy asks Xiao Ji if there exists any secret realm nearby where powerful warriors have already died. Xiao Ji gets quite thoughtful about this and asks what he is trying to say. Our boy tries to unfold and says that he wants to find a secret realm of high level just to raise his level. Xiao Ji keeps thinking about this and says that there exists a secret realm the way he is looking for, but warns that this realm is inside the school and they will not have any chance of entering unnoticed. Our boy keeps thinking about what he just said and, in thought, says that since this realm is monopolized he will have to use special methods. And this special method is that famous bribe. And he is doing this with the teacher. The crazy guy doesn't even believe that he just got a purple level skill and on top of that compatible with his Wanderer class. The teacher tries to divert the subject but in thought, says that our boy has many contacts. Then he says that access to the school's realm is pre-scheduled and he cannot open the session for anyone. But soon he says that he has a solution, saying that the realm will be open and only for the graduates. At this moment, our boy just keeps listening to what he is saying because he said that if a student is very good, a teacher can be indicating him for the team, and he warns our boy that he will do his best to get that. Then some days pass and our boy is at the entrance of the secret realm. The people who are around him seem excited, and this guy is saying that this may be the greatest luck in his life, and he will make the most of this moment. The people behind our boy say that if it wasn't for the hero's gift, they wouldn't even have a chance to get this opportunity. But our boy, looking at the portal, notices that there is something strange, only that he decides to stay quiet. Then the teacher decides to say something and says that this secret realm was given to the school by the hero himself, saying that he himself already fought inside it and says that there must be several traces of the battles. Only that Xiao Ji stays back there just listening to all of this because he knows the secret that this secret realm has, since it was in it that the hero killed the traitor. Xiao Ji gets thoughtful about this information and keeps wondering if he should tell our boy, only that he lets it go. It doesn't take long, the teacher introduces those two to the team leader and already tells this guy to take care of our boys. The guy gets quite irritated and keeps asking the teacher how he will level up taking care of him. The teacher starts pushing him and tells him to stop complaining, and already tells him to enter the portal. Xiao Xie gets angry and scratches his head. He thinks this is a drag, and he already points at our group saying that when they are inside the portal it's better not to delay them. And after this information the group decides to enter. And our boy is quite worried and keeps wondering why he is finding this portal very strange, saying that it seems a bit dangerous just from the energy that is coming out. Inside the secret realm, this group begins to prepare, only that this group already gets surprised upon entering it. And the guy that the teacher told to keep an eye on our boy is already asking why Yunsha and Yunin are in this place, saying that both of them are in lower classes. Then the crazy guy looks at our two boys and says that they are also in low level. In this moment, the guy begins to try to act like a ladies' man and says that if Sha and the others were by his side it would be great, warning that he gets full of energy when he is near girls. And, dreaming of this situation, he even starts drooling. Only that his colleague, seeing this, tells him to stop dreaming, warning that they are above level 30 and says that they should worry only about not being dead weight, and also warns that he is not at the same level as her. The guy in this moment understands the humiliation and says that he already knew that. He was just trying to throw a bait, but in this moment he pays attention to something because the two girls are approaching, and the boy already gets a little nervous. Paralyzed, he tries to talk to the blonde girl, only that the blonde ignores him and goes toward our boy. Our boy, seeing this situation, keeps wondering what she is wanting because he knows the high value of this girl for the Ding family and keeps wondering why she came to him. Soon he imagines that she probably knows the original owner of this body or that she's just trying to defend the trash Ding Shu. But the girl, all smiling, says that she saw him at the memorial yesterday, warning that the movements he used were not bad and said that his voice is quite unique. Our boy gets with that blank face, doesn't understand what she is talking about and already imagines that she's just trying to start a conversation. But, with that little smile of someone hiding something, she approaches our boy and says that it was very easy to recognize his voice after the sound of the glass breaking. And in this moment, our boy understands that he is in her hands and can't even believe that she recognized him just with 2 sentences he spoke. It doesn't take long and the girl starts to wear her equipment and says that the only thing she wanted to do was just to greet him, and warns that for today that's all. Then she approaches her friend, who is also already fully equipped. Then she warns that she will explore the dungeon now. Our boy gets thoughtful about this, because he noticed that she recognized him, but didn't expose him in public. Then he keeps wondering if that was just a warning because he already soon imagines that Ding Shu may also have recognized him by his voice. But soon he gets unconcerned because he imagines that if the Ding family doesn't come knocking on his door, everything will be fine, because at the pace of evolution he is having now he won't need to worry for long. Then our boy just sees those two leaving that place and thanks those two girls for being kind to give him this warning. Then our boy decides to help her and tells them both to be careful, warning that this secret realm has dangerous magic. The blonde girl warns him that she had also found this strange, but says that with the level she has that will not be any problem. Then she touches her hat and thanks him for the reminder. The people there on the side stay open-mouthed and keep wondering how our boy knows Yunsha. This little mage here says that she usually is quite distant from others and keeps wondering why she is acting like this with our boy. Then they start to approach our boy and ask if they are close and if he could introduce her to them. Our boy, noticing this bootlicking, apologizes and says that they have to go now. This group gets worried and asks if those two are really going to go out by themselves, warning that all the monsters in this place are at least at level 20, and says that the two newbies could be overturned even by the basic monster. Only that adventurer passes in front of them and tells the people to leave those two alone, warning that if he is very close to Yunsha, he probably is also not of low level. The girl gets worried because the teacher warned them to take care of those two. Only that the adventurer gets a little more serious and tells them to remember why they are in this place because the fewer people who know about that place the better for them. Then he asks everyone in the group if they want to share the rare crystals with everyone, but he reminds that when everyone entered this place, everyone was equipped with an emergency signal and tells everyone in this group just to ignore those two. The adventurer gets a little discouraged because he wanted to talk with Yunsha and keeps wondering how that random boy can have this opportunity. Then he takes a look in the direction of our boy and just tells him to overturn soon. Only that, outside the dungeon, Ding Su appears and the crazy guy is desperate. The teacher, seeing his presence, asks what he is doing in this place. Ding Su, irritated, asks if a team has just entered. The teacher does not understand much what he wants to know, but answers yes. And Ding Su already stays with a look of hatred, because he tried to warn his family that the invaders were Yun Che and Xiaoji. But the old man with the double mustache told him to stop with nonsense, because he is only saying this because he wants to take revenge for the humiliating defeat he had at the memorial. Then again he warns to stop with nonsense and says that he has no time to deal with these problems now. But Ding Shu keeps insisting, warning that the ones who invaded were them because he recognized the voice of both. The one with the single mustache says that the invaders managed to escape even from him and that this is not something that any student could do. And the one with orange hair tells Ding Shu to prove that those two are at least stronger than the guards, because only this way he will be able to help. Then the old patriarch of this family tells them to stop with foolishness, saying that he has a lot of work in this place, and already tells them not to mix these things. And that's why Ding Su went after the teacher. Then Ding Su starts to threaten him and says that he also wants to enter the secret realm. And the young lady is irritated, and going back inside the dungeon, our boy is destroying a crystal beast. He notices that, for now, this is being too easy for him. Only that, in this moment, the beast gets irritated and tries to release a burst of energy at him. And the only thing that our boy can do now is just dodge the energy lasers. Then he calls for his partner, and Xiaoji already understands what he has to do and already uses the skill surrounding shield on our boy. With this, all the attacks keep hitting the shield and being reflected. It has a duration of 3 minutes and grants a shield set with 500 durability and 700 defense. Our boy gets happy because besides the shield he is receiving an attack buff. Meanwhile, Xiaoji stays back there cheering for him because our boy received 5% attack and 5% attack speed. In this way he rushes forward toward that crystal golem. When he is on top of that beast, he already prepares to attack and already aims at its head. It doesn't take long, he splits that beast in half as if it were nothing, and after defeating that monster he managed to level up once more. Xiaoji beside him gets surprised because he also leveled up. Then our boy looks at his inventory and says that, from the books he got from the Ding family, there was one that gave the surrounding darkness skill and shout of encouragement. And these were the skills that our boy gave to Xiaoji. In thought, he says that, although the level of this place is high, it will not be any kind of problem for Xiaoji and he will level up a lot. Then those two decide to take a look around this place and see a mountain of crystal. In this moment he is following the instructions of the teacher because according to him, there are several rare monsters in this territory. And if he manages to kill that beast, there is a small chance that it drops a skill book of the support class. And that would be gravitational attraction. And this is one of the skills he needs to learn because it is recorded in the mirrored world. But there is something more interesting than monsters. And he keeps imagining what kind of undead he will find in this place. And he already imagines that, probably, those souls must be wandering near the place where they were overturned. In this way he decides to look for them in a higher place. Only that suddenly he gets quite surprised because he sees something interesting because below that place he is seeing a monster of different coloration, and he already keeps imagining that this would be something special. When he looks carefully, more monsters appear, and he notices that those monsters are near a crystal pillar. Then he already recognizes those beasts and says that they are elite type monsters. And he keeps wondering why those beasts moved at least 1 kilometer because this is a very far range for normal monsters. Then he already starts to imagine that those monsters are the wandering type. And the wandering type are rare monsters in the secret realm, and they don't respawn at specific points, they only keep wandering everywhere. He says that those monsters are stronger than the common ones. And when humanity still didn't have strength, finding those wandering type monsters meant that they would have to prepare for a difficult fight. Only that in this moment our boy decided to jump off that cliff because they know the danger that those monsters can cause because, if they are not stopped they can leave the secret realm and in this way they will cause countless tragedies. Only that, because of their danger level, killing each of those beasts will give a very high amount of experience because they are better than the normal ones. And our boy in this moment, decided to farm an enormous amount of XP and already goes toward that beast. Then he gives a quick slash to that creature because he knows that they are not very strong and thinks that he can provoke them for now. Only that, when he looks back to see the damage he caused, the beast started to heal in a continuous way, leaving our boy quite surprised. Only that suddenly he gets surrounded and the creatures start to activate their skills. Our boy tries to escape with Xiaoji's shield skill, only that this doesn't help much, because those energy rays manage to surpass his defense. Our boy, noticing that he is being very hit, decides to leave that place, because he looks at his life bar and sees that his defense is still low, and if it wasn't for Xiaoji's skill, he would already be seriously injured. Then he releases his skeletons to have extra defense. Only that, when he looks, the skeletons are being completely destroyed. Then our boy decides to leave them behind because he thanks God that the speed of those beasts is extremely slow. He notices that his HP still hasn't recovered and says that to be able to kill that monster, he needs to get stronger and will also have to rely on Xiaoji's skill. Then he approaches his partner and says that they will have to kill monsters in another place first. Some time passes, they are already in a low-level area because our boy is trying to help Xiaoji to level up, since he will need his skill because our boy knows that, in group battles, the shield bearer are the first in the defense line and that the other classes only hide behind them to be able to deal damage. And our boy is quite satisfied in helping him because, since all his skill points were placed in defense and he got good armor, now he can at least defend himself more efficiently, because in this moment he is managing to block an attack of a level 20 monster. And back there our boy gives him a tip, to lower his body and keep a firm posture. He also warns to swing the shield in the direction of the attack. And hearing this tip, Xiaoji does exactly as he said. It doesn't take long and he notices that the shield's durability dropped less than before. Only that while he is seeing this, he lowered his guard and already receives a punch from the beast. And our boy, to prevent an attack that could harm him, already goes cutting the arm of that creature. And our boy already tells him to always pay attention to the enemy's attack. Tells him not to swing the shield too much and to always leave space to defend the next attack. Also warns him to stay very alert, but also has to stay relaxed, and says for him to tense the muscles only when he is going to defend. He holds Xiao Ji and tells him to continue, warning that since he is a shield bearer, he must always be aware of the movements of his allies. Xiao Ji gets a little more confident about this and already starts preparing to defend the attacks, and our boy stays back there just giving support. And our boy tells him to remember that, when the difference of strength is small, the only thing that will determine the winner will be the technique. Some time passes and they manage to defeat all the creatures that were in that place. Our boy, seeing that Xiao Ji leveled up, says that now they can face that enemy. And the boy gets quite happy because now he is at level 15 and is no longer that weakling who was always being bullied. Then he picks up a skill book and says that now he finally can learn it. And this is the shield coating. When added to the armor, increases the durability by 400 and the defense by 512. Our boy, seeing that he learned this skill, says that this was the last gift that the Ding family gave to him. Then Xiao Ji already decides to test this skill and already uses 2 shields of our boy. Only that this is not all. The skill is so good that he also manages to put it on the skeletons. And our boy says that now this is enough to defeat those creatures. Only that going to the crystal pillar, the creatures are still there. But this time there are 3 people watching them, and they keep asking themselves where these creatures came from. The 3 of them are the team of teachers, and the crazy guy already goes warning that this is very dangerous for the students. The guy says that they can deal with normal monsters of level 30, only that these 3 wandering monsters will give a little bit of difficulty for them. In this moment they see something unexpected, and it is a signal flare from the students. And the teachers already get worried that something might have happened. This blonde teacher already gets worried and says that they need to rescue the students first. The teacher with white hair says that there are wandering monsters in this place and warns that it is quite dangerous, because they can end up going in the direction of the students. The teacher with black hair warns that he will stay behind to take care of these creatures. Then this crazy guy says that, since the teacher with black hair will stay in this place, they have to hurry soon. Only that, in this moment, our boy and Xiao Ji appear and say that they should stay on guard in this place, and warn that the signal might be a request for help caused by the wandering monsters, and say that only 2 teachers may not be enough. The blonde teacher keeps wondering what he is doing in this place, but our boy does not even let him talk and warns that these wandering monsters move slowly, so there will be no danger for them staying here. He warns these 3 teachers that he will stay from afar just observing. The crazy guys keep staring at each other and are not believing much in what he is saying. Only that since now they are in a state of emergency, they will let them do this. Then the teachers decide to leave and warn these 2 not to get close to the monsters, saying that they are dangerous. Say for them to stay hidden because if they are seen there will be no way to escape. Only that our boy gives that little smile, and while these teachers are leaving, he already goes warning that the ones who will not be able to escape are these creatures. And look at his little face. After the teachers left, it didn't take long and our boy already went to smash those golems. And in thought he says that none of them will escape. Then, when he looks back, he already sees one acting funny because this creature is accumulating energy to attack him. Only that, this time, Xiao Ji is smart and already starts to activate his shield skills. It doesn't take long and the skeleton of our boy already defends him, and our boy already goes preparing to attack this golem. Only that the little skeleton cannot resist this attack, only that it is already too late for this golem because our boy is already smashing him too. Through these blows, our boy keeps accumulating attack power. Only that in thought, he says that it is still little because he needs to finish these golems as fast as possible to be able to take advantage the most of his attack power bonus. For now it is being enough, but he needs to give several blows to finish this golem. Our boy, after defeating this creature, realizes that he is getting used to this class, only that compared to his previous life he is still very weak. Then he already goes to another golem and uses his skeletons as distraction. He says that, although his inversion skill helped to increase his power, it is still not enough, because the basic attack power of the support class is quite low. And he says that, if he could increase this base power a little more, it would be great for him. But in this moment, the heavens heard the prayers of our boy, because the system is warning him to pick up the items that dropped. Our boy sees that he leveled up again, but this was already expected, since the monster that he just defeated is of the elite type, and the experience that he gains with this is a little bit high. Then our boy approaches the items and when he sees the item that fell on the ground, he opens his eyes wide. Because this is a weapon with high attack, it was everything that he was needing in this moment. Our boy opens that big smile and says that with this he will be able to compensate the weakness of his base attack. Then our boy starts to test this blade and says that from now on the fights will be relatively easy. Only that he is still a little disappointed because until now the skill book that he wanted has not dropped. And he already thinks that the chance of this book coming is quite low. Only that in this moment he sees something in the sky because again the crowd is asking for help. And our boy keeps asking himself what is happening because the place where the signal flare came from is the same place where the teachers went. And he also realizes that this time the signal of help has a different color. because it is of special grade, and he knows that only the teachers can use this signal flare. Going there to the place of the help, the teacher is a little worn out and he keeps asking what he thinks is happening, because in front of him there are a bunch of monsters and he asks why there are so many wandering monsters coming to this place. Some time passes and there is a group in the rear of these creatures, and this group is the group of that girl, and she keeps asking herself what exactly happened in this place. The guy who is beside her says that he is not sure, because he also just arrived in this place following the help signal. He points to the cave and says that the signal came from there, and there is a group making a shield barrier to be able to get close to the cave. Only that because of the monsters, it is being a little complicated. The students around already get worried, because they realize that even with the teachers it is still not enough to finish these monsters. Then this student already starts asking for help from the people in the rear, and the little blonde girl warns that this is her duty, since they are classmates. In this moment she starts to use a light magic, and the magic starts to spread through all this place. This magic increases 2 points of mental power and 20% of attack. And the crowd, when they receive this, think it's incredible, saying that this type of power is at least of epic grade. Only that the girl doesn't stop there and already uses a skill to restrict the movements of the golems. Her colleague, seeing this, doesn't waste time and already advances to attack them all, finishing those golems with just a single attack. The people who saw this think it's incredible and say that with their help they should be able to rescue the people in the cave. Our boy back there, seeing her skill, says that probably they won't need him since they are quite skilled. Then he decides to stay a little more relaxed. Only that he is wondering what he thinks is happening inside, what kind of thing could attract so many monsters to this place. Only that for the luck of our boy, the cooldown time of 1 day of the mirrored world has already passed, and he can already use the skill again. He warns Xiao Ji that he will enter this place to take a look and says for him to stay in this place with the others. Then it doesn't take long and our boy already goes to the mirrored world. He realizes that all this place is full of crystals, so he understands that he can enter and leave this world at any time. He says that he didn't have much time to discover the mechanism of return to reality when he used the skill in the house of the Ding family. Only that, this time looking better at this skill he realizes one thing, because people have reflections but the monsters don't. And looking at the monsters, he realizes that his body exists in this place. Only that all of them are lifeless, different from him, who is the only living one that goes to this world. So our boy decides to move on and already goes toward the cave. He looks to the side and sees that bastard. Then he understands that it was them who were luring the monsters to this place after activating the distress signal. He also notices that this group is using the narrow terrain to resist and says that for now they are not in danger. But he keeps wondering what's inside the cave that's attracting so many monsters. As he goes deeper, the light in this cave starts to turn greenish. Then he looks closely and sees something interesting and he's already intrigued by it. What he just found was a special crystal ore, and he starts to understand why that extra and the others came to this place. Because unlike the crystals from the outside world, secret realms produce special products that cannot be found in the external world, and life-type professionals can use them to craft equipment, accessories, and other types of special items. Our boy, seeing this, realizes that he's got a gold mine in his hands. So, he decides to take this item outside and store it in his inventory. But the system warned that he can take this item and return to the real world. With that, our boy starts to understand something and imagines that as long as there's a mirrored surface, he can return to the real world through it. So our boy decides to collect everything he's seeing in this place, since he thinks there must be a lot to discover with this skill. That way he'll take this time to start understanding it. But for now he says he'll keep exploring this place because he realizes that the amount of ore here is quite unusual, and if all of it were mined, it would be enough to make someone a billionaire. Thus, he starts to understand why there are so many wanderer types in this place, but outside the fight is going crazy, and that little mage girl is wrecking some monsters. His colleague also has no trouble smashing a few. The crowd, seeing those two doing all the work, notices that their abilities are of the epic type and start wondering why they're so powerful. And the bald guy says that they're even stronger than a teacher. And the teacher who's inside that cave while watching those girls is surprised, since they managed to clear a path all the way to the cave. The extra with the hat at that moment says that they were saved. And another one says that he thought he was going to die. But that assassin girl warns him not to let his guard down, because they'll still need to fight to get out of that place. The blonde girl looks around and says it'll be easier than before, but suddenly she gets startled, and the crowd of extras already have their eyes wide open and pale faces, because what they just saw is a horde of golems coming toward them. And they start wondering if all the wanderer types of this realm came to this place, because look at the number of monsters. Meanwhile, inside the mirror world, our boy is having the time of his life. He's exploring the place and cutting down everything he sees ahead. He says that this place looks like a labyrinth, but suddenly he gets startled again because he just saw another special item in front of him. And our boy starts wondering if this could be a secret treasure. Look at his face. and he says that if crystal ores are special products of this realm, then this item that just appeared is the one and only hidden treasure, because the hidden treasure is the crystallized essence of all special products of the realm. It takes a long time to form and appears irregularly. A normal person would never get to see it in their life. Then our boy wonders what's the special function of this item. Look at his smile. Upon analysis, it's the mirrored crystal core. When using this item, the person gains 10 stamina, 0.5 mana recovery, and 20% less light and electric damage. Our boy gets super happy because that increases his base stats and still reduces the damage he takes. And look at his smile when he sees the stats he'll get, because he knows percentage reduction is something very rare, and even high-level equipment doesn't have that. But he's finding something strange since he knows crystal ore attracts wandering monsters. But a hidden treasure should attract a much stronger monster. So he says that after using it, he'll get out of this place as fast as possible. The system asks if he's going to collect or use it, but it also warns that to collect or use it, he'll spend 10 minutes of mirror path time, and it already asks our boy if he wants to continue. While he's making this decision, outside the fight is raging, but not in a good way. The group is already worried. Even the assassin and the little witch realize this is going to end badly. And as our boy said, the wandering monsters came because of that crystal. But at the moment he picked up that special item, an even stronger creature appeared, and the group says that this giant thing is the lord of this realm, and they're already shitting their pants. What just appeared was a wandering lord. He's a rare secret boss that doesn't belong to the realm's regular lords. His power far surpasses the normal lords, and he's way beyond what any teacher or student could handle. And at that moment, the only thing the group can do is defend themselves. They start wondering why the wandering lord appeared in this place, since they know one can only appear inside a high-level secret realm. They don't understand why this monster is in this realm and say that if things go on like this, everyone's going to end up dead. But at this moment, the little witch tries to take command and calls everyone's attention, telling them to stay calm, saying that now the most important thing is to escape together. Then she points to the canyon and says that they can escape through that place, warning that once they leave that valley, they'll be able to flee easily. It doesn't take long before she starts using that ability and buffs everyone again, saying that now they'll have to fight for all or nothing. The teacher, seeing this, starts charging his skill and says that the most important thing now is to get all the students out of there. He equips his armor and says that he'll open the path, and warns that once he does it, everyone should take turns leading. Some time passes and the group manages to defend themselves. The teacher keeps powering up his ability, and the other shielders just follow him. Meanwhile, the healer keeps giving them support. It doesn't take long and they manage to advance a little, and as they get close to the canyon, the teacher tells them to hold on. But suddenly the wandering lord lets out a scream, and that scream spreads everywhere, and the golems scattered around start to hear him. Then they start gathering in that place. The group, seeing that situation, thinks it's complete bullshit and starts wondering where so many monsters came from. But suddenly the lord's eyes start to glow, and he uses an ability. This ability buffs all the golems around, and they all gain 20% HP, 20 attack, and 20 defense. And at that moment, the group that was managing to defend themselves can't anymore because the shields were broken. One of the teachers is hit, and he says that the creature's damage is too high, and he can't heal fast enough. But suddenly, several beams of light pierce through him. One of the students, seeing that, panics and says that the teacher just died. But the little witch in the back doesn't lose hope and tells the shielders to stay in the front line and the healers to focus only on him. But in her thoughts, she says that everyone's running out of mana, the healers are almost at their limit, and she also noticed that the wandering lord hasn't even shown his true power yet. At that moment, that rogue starts to realize that none of them are going to make it out. So he decides to use his stealth ability just to escape that place and tells everyone that it's better if they try to run on their own. He starts sneaking through the monsters, but one of the remaining teachers tells the other rogues not to follow him, warning that stealth won't last long enough and they won't be able to escape that place. When that rogue got a certain distance away, the teacher started to feel something because at that moment the Lord began to gather energy. The teacher looks up and warns everyone to be careful, but the Lord shot that beam of energy toward the rogue, making him evaporate. The teacher, grinding his teeth, thought that this ability was insane, and when the dust settles, they look at the place they were trying to escape to. The passage is completely collapsed, and everyone's hope starts to fade again when they realize there's no way to escape through there. That guy over here is already shaking with fear and starts to give up, because once again the Lord began to gather energy. The extra that was trembling just a moment ago looks back and realizes it's over, saying that this time he's not aiming at the rogue, but at them. But without hesitation, the two girls move to the front line. After they advance, they pull out two items from their inventory. One is the giant shield and the other is the mountain rock shield, and that way they manage to block part of the attack. But the little witch starts shouting to everyone, warning that whoever has high strength should come to the front line, because if that item falls, they won't survive. She says that shield is level 70 equipment and that its durability is good, but warns that because of the high level no one can use it properly. But in her thoughts she says that the only thing they can do is buy some time. That extra who decided to come to this place starts wondering why the school's secret realm has a monster like that. And the teacher, holding one of the shields, can only hear the argument, because everyone's saying it's all his fault for coming here. The teacher feels a bit disappointed since he fought so hard to save these people. But now he thinks it's all going to be in vain, and in his thoughts he says that at least those two aren't in this place. But when he looks to the side he sees Xiao Ji and starts wondering why that idiot is here. But suddenly, Xiao Ji turns to him and tells him to be careful, because at that moment the monster is coming right at him. And Xiao Ji, with his quick reflexes, uses the skill he learned in this place, the surrounding shield, and puts it in front of the teacher. But the golem released such a strong attack that this shield broke. Then the teacher realizes that if it weren't for that shield, he would have been done for, but the golem didn't stop attacking and already came at him with a punch. But Xiao Ji didn't stop either. He already used his skill and charged straight toward that attack. The teacher, seeing this boy, can't believe he has that kind of ability. But as he looks around, the teacher notices that all the shields are broken. And when Xiao Ji's shield disappears, the teacher says that it's all over and the only thing they can do is wait for death, because at that moment some creatures are gathering energy to attack. The teacher, seeing that, thinks it's the end, but suddenly the creatures are torn apart and the one who just did that was our boy. The teacher, seeing that sight, is in disbelief. Just look at his shocked face because our boy just made that entrance and is already farming that aura. Then he tells Xiao Ji that he did well, and Xiao Ji, relieved, just lies there on the ground while our boy tells his buddy to leave the rest to him. And not long ago in the real world, our boy also found something interesting because he realized that there's a hidden crystal core in the mirror world, and that there's also an original one in the real world. And look at our boy's happy face when he sees that, because he realizes that with the mirror world, he can gain even more from now on. But for him, the real problem is that these crystals are hard to collect because when leaving the mirror world and extracting the crystal, it consumes a lot of mirror path time, since taking out a treasure like that requires 10 minutes of the skill. The system tells him to make his choice. And of course, our boy decides to use the crystal. And since he's not dumb, he decides to use both, thus doubling the amount of stats he'll get. But suddenly, the whole place starts shaking, and our boy is surprised by that and wonders if something's happening there. So quickly he decides to leave that place. Then he uses the mirror world to see if he can return. With that, inside the mirror world, the system warns that he has 12 minutes remaining. Our boy, seeing that, gets really happy because as long as the time doesn't run out, he'll be able to enter and exit the mirror world freely. Leaving that cave, he also exits the mirror world. Then he looks to where his friends were and sees that there's a horde of monsters in front of him. But when he looks up, he sees that little calamity and realizes that the situation got worse, because now there's even a wandering lord. So he dashes out of that place since he knows his buddy and the others are in danger. But our boy is using his hack because he figured out that as long as he can enter and leave the mirror world, he can dodge any attack. And our boy is doing that to teleport. And that way he starts finishing off all the monsters in front of him. At that moment he's level 24. With that, he decides to take this opportunity to level up. So he starts doing all the math and understands that he can increase his attack by 330%. But he knows that facing a wandering lord is still too much for him. And after doing all the calculations he realizes that he'll have to reach at least level 30. Then he returns to the mirror world to see where his friends are. Doing that he realizes there's a long way ahead. But since in the real world the monsters are still alive, they won't appear in the mirror world. So he takes this opportunity to move. And that's how he managed to take down that big monster, saving Xiao Ji in the process. And when he arrived he already asked his buddy if he was okay, telling him to leave everything to him. Then he starts using his hack again and calculates everything he has to do. He disappears from one place and reappears near the monster, finishing it off. Without thinking, our boy calls everyone's attention and says that if anyone has a support skill, they should buff him now because he'll take care of all the monsters. That little witch starts using her skill, while Xiao Ji down below also uses his ability. Our boy gains insane defense and attack power, but when he looks to the side he sees there are still a lot of monsters. But after using that core his HP increased several times, and his light and electric damage were reduced by 40%. At that moment our boy is more than ready to wipe out those monsters. So he already uses his chaotic thorns. But all the golems down below are immune to confusion. Everyone seeing that starts wondering what kind of ability that is, since the crowd looking at his status bar knows he's a bard, and they can't understand how he's so strong like that. But what impresses everyone the most is his ability to appear and disappear out of nowhere. The teacher, seeing that, feels happy and realizes that he wasn't weak. But our boy keeps farming all that aura because he's taking down all the monsters by himself. It doesn't take long before he levels up. The little witch, seeing our boy, is also impressed because she thought he was just some arrogant guy. But now she understands his true strength. Even that assassin girl is impressed because she's left speechless. While that was happening, our boy was over there using that hacked skill of his, and every time he killed a monster his experience kept increasing. With that, he leveled up 3 times. The crowd watching him started wondering if he was getting help from somewhere, since they still couldn't believe in his strength. The professor, while being healed, said he had seen him before, but thought he was just an ordinary student. And the extra standing next to him couldn't believe he was only a student. But suddenly the Lord began to get furious. The group, seeing that, realized it wasn't good, since he was charging energy to use that attack again. It didn't take long before he fired another energy blast toward our boy, and right away he realized that if he got hit by that he wouldn't survive. But the Lord didn't stop firing, and this time he was moving. The group said that when the Lord gets too close, not even those shields would protect them. Then the professor noticed something and said there were fewer monsters now, telling everyone to escape through the other exit. He warned them that by the time the Lord reached that spot, it would be too late, saying our boy wouldn't be able to defeat the wandering Lord, no matter how strong he was. But the guys near the shield said they were hard to move, warning the professor that if they opened a path, they'd be exposed. The people around began to panic again, but suddenly they heard a voice, and that voice was our boy's. He told them he was going to draw the Lord's attention, and while he did that, they'd better take the opportunity to escape. The professor was in disbelief at what he had just heard and asked if he was really planning to stay behind. In his thoughts, our boy said he had to deal with that wandering Lord, because if he didn't, it would enter the real world and no one would be able to stop it. That would cause a huge catastrophe, since all the destruction in the past had been caused by a wandering Lord. So he told the professor he'd stay there and kill that beast. But our boy had a small problem. The treacherous blade still had 7 seconds left on cooldown, and his mirror world had only 5 minutes remaining. Seeing that he decided to stay behind, the group chose to get out of there, and the professor warned that no matter how strong he was, that Lord could gather several monsters and they could become stronger, telling the others that if they managed to escape fast enough, our boy might also be able to get away. But one of the students asked the professor. He'd heard that our boy said he was going to kill that monster, and the professor still believed he was only going to buy some time, saying it was impossible to defeat that wandering Lord. Meanwhile, Xiaoji was deep in thought, saying that even now, he was still useless and that the only thing he could do was run. In his mind he asked his friend to stay safe. But back where our boy was, he kept smashing through the monsters in front of him, buying as much time as possible for his companions to escape. At that moment, the giant golem got irritated and fired an energy blast toward him. But our boy once again used the mirror world, though he didn't stay there long, reappearing right next to the monster and striking its body with a powerful slash of his blade. However, when our boy looked at the damage he dealt, he realized that creature's defense was way too high, as the damage was almost instantly healed by its regeneration. With that, our boy figured out he needed to reach a certain spot, because looking at the top of the creature's head, he found its core and guessed that must be its weak point. But the beast didn't stay still and attacked him again, forcing him to dodge. Then he said that, with his current strength, he couldn't do much, and at that moment, almost all the buffs he had received were wearing off. Realizing that, our boy got a bit worried, but he wasn't going to let that shake him. Once again he used all his skills to attack that creature. But this time he said he'd need to make a plan, he'd have to level up first. Then, right in front of him, he saw something shining and his eyes widened, but it didn't take long before the Lord attacked again. Our boy dodged that strike by jumping into the mirror world. But once again he didn't stay long there. When he came back, the attack was still happening. Our boy was surprised, realizing it was a large-scale continuous attack. But this time he had to endure it because his mirror path time was running out. If he used it to dodge, it would end too soon. So, to block the attack, our boy thought about using those skeletons. He started summoning them, but said it consumed a ridiculous amount of mana, and if he used it too often he wouldn't have enough mana to charge his attack power. With that, he wondered if he should retreat and recover first. But suddenly, a wall appeared in front of him, blocking the golem's attack. Our boy, seeing that, was shocked, because the ones who appeared in front of him were Xiaoji and those 2 girls. He asked why they were there. The witch girl said that his friend begged a lot, and that's why she had no choice but to help. But Xiaoji, standing still, said that's not exactly how it happened. But he told our boy that there were already enough people over there so they'd be able to escape, and the only thing he wanted was to help his friend. Our boy, hearing that, just gave a small smile and thanked him. But then, the witch interrupted that reunion, saying the secret dungeon was still very dangerous and that they'd provide cover for him. Our boy got ready and started charging energy, telling them he wouldn't need that much help. He began tearing through all the creatures around him and said that with their support, he wouldn't have to hold back anymore. With that, he leveled up again, and said that now his attack power was enough. Then he took some armor out of his inventory and equipped it. It was the gift the Ding family had given him. The girl began to understand what he was planning and asked if he was really going to climb that thing, warning him that with that height, it was impossible. but our boy pulled something out of his pocket. It was the item he wanted, gravitational attraction. Its description said it pulled the target object toward the user, and the lighter the object and the higher the user's strength attribute, the stronger the pull. But our boy didn't want it that way. So, he reversed the skill, and now, the description said it would pull the user toward the target. The heavier the target and the lower the user's strength attribute, the stronger the pull. Then, our boy began to prepare. He started gathering energy and attack power, telling the girl not to worry because he had everything under control. It didn't take long before he used his gravity skill and swung his arm like a lever. That way he was propelled toward the target and shot up at high speed toward the monster's head. Once up there, our boy saw the crystal. The crowd below was surprised by how fast he got there. But our boy didn't waste time. He immediately began attacking that creature. The monster, screaming in pain, refused to stay still and started firing energy blasts in all directions. Our boy could feel that attack power, and the closer he got to the beast, the faster his HP dropped. But he decided not to stay still either and started charging even more energy. After a while, the crystal shattered, and our boy came out of there completely victorious. Then, the system announced that he had defeated the Lord, earned 5,000 experience, obtained the title Wandering Slayer, and even received 2 legendary skill books. The crowd, seeing our boy defeat that creature, can't believe it. And Xiao Ji among them says that our boy is really strong. And the little witch is wide-eyed, saying that he really defeated the monster all by himself. And up above, our boy sees that he dropped 2 legendary items, but suddenly the place where he's standing starts to shake, and the crowd below sees that the monster is falling. But our boy doesn't even wait for it to hit the ground and starts running for his life. And while the monster is falling, he looks to the side and notices something. Because where the monster fell, a hollow mountain appeared. So, our boy stops and decides to take a good look at it. He sees there are wanderers and human remains in that place. With that, he understands that an even stronger wandering lord was born there a long time ago, and he says that must be the reason why there are so many battle marks around. Then he looks toward a mountain of bodies and sees a petrified person there. That person is Chao En, and our boy still doesn't understand why he's in that place. Seeing that, he's shocked because that guy was his friend and companion in his past life. The little witch down below also recognizes this person and says she heard that he was killed in that place by the hero Ding Kuan. But there's a small detail different from the stories, since she wasn't expecting to see him like this, and she warns that this is clearly the result of a battle against countless people and monsters, and that it's completely different from the memorial statues, because this isn't someone being trampled. Our boy, hearing that, stays silent, because he's curious to know what happened. But suddenly, his classmate appears beside him and says that maybe people won't believe it, and warns that his grandfather wasn't a bad man. He says that ever since he was a kid, he's been researching his great-grandfather's entire story. But whenever it came to his accomplishments, the descriptions were always vague. Still, he kept researching and managed to uncover some details. And he says that his grandfather always went into dungeons far beyond his own level. Then he asks everyone there why a rank S professional at level 60 would come to such a low-level dungeon. He also questions why this dungeon can even spawn a wandering lord. He explains that wandering lords are the source of the catastrophes that release all the dungeon monsters into the outside world. He says that in the past, the army didn't have enough troops to fight against the monsters that came out of the dungeons. And that's why they began depending on strong professionals and put them in charge of regularly eliminating the monsters. He says his great-grandfather was also like that, saying that he even appeared before the catastrophes began. The people hearing that are left speechless, especially the 2 girls. Xiao Ji, a bit sad, says that they probably won't believe him, and trembling, says that even his own family is trying to deceive him. That's why he's trying to make sense of it all. But at that moment, our boy approaches and touches him. Then he gets closer to Xiao Ji and says that he believes him. The girls hearing that are shocked, and Xiao Ji upon hearing it is speechless because at that moment he finally found someone who believes him. But our boy is the only one who truly knows what his classmate was like. In a flashback, he remembers that his classmate was fearless and always told him to retire soon. But when things got dangerous, he would always ask for help. And after being saved, he would complain and ask not to be rescued again. And every time he went out on a mission, he came back all beaten up. But that never discouraged him because he was always smiling and said he worked hard in secret, then bragged in front of others, telling his classmate to relax, since the dungeons he went to weren't dangerous. And our boy even remembers a day when he asked his classmate why he chose the sword guard class, saying it was the weakest among shield users. But his classmate countered and asked why he put all his points into strength and speed, saying he always threw himself in front of monsters, and that no other shield class could keep up with him. But one day he had to part ways with our boy, saying he had found so many wanderers that he couldn't resist. And bragging, he said he didn't do it to save people, just that the monsters were in his way. Our boy, remembering that, says that it's for his classmates' sake that he's going to settle things with the Jean family. And far from that place, at the Jean family's house, the orange-haired one can't believe what he just heard, because the gossiping Jing Shu told him everything he found out about what happened in the dungeon, saying that our boy is really amazing. He says he was blocked by the professor and couldn't enter, but when the others came out, he overheard them talking about someone fighting the wandering lord, and before he left, he saw the lord falling. The crowd around says it's no surprise and that it was probably that person who killed the monster, and while they're talking they accidentally mention our boy's name. Hearing that, Ding Su is shocked and also quite angry. And back at the Ding family's house, Huginho, Zizinho and Luozinho are pretty irritated. Huginho stands up and tells them to call the Ding family guards and orders everyone to follow him to the dungeon of the traitor. But then he remembers that the gossip also mentioned the child from the Chow family, and in anger he also orders them to bring everyone from the Chow family, because the guy is fuming. And back in the dungeon, our boy went to check the items that dropped, and the item in his hand is the legendary skill book Golden Light Barrier. Seeing that, he decides to give it to Xiao Ji and says that there are no requirements for the skill so he can use it anytime. The little witch, seeing that, asks if he's really going to give that skill to him. Our boy says it's a skill exclusive to squires so he wouldn't be able to use it anyway. That way he tells Xiao Ji that his great-grandfather must have used that skill often. Then the little witch behind him touches her hat and says that our boy doesn't need powerful skills. She says that her own skills are quite advanced too, but compared to his, there's a big difference, especially his ability to suddenly disappear and to summon undead. At that moment, our boy realizes that the undead he summons come from souls, and remembers that other souls entered the mirror world too. Our boy decides to check it out, and unbelievably the plot gods activate right then because upon reaching level 30 the mirror world skill was renewed. He enters that world eyes wide open because he just saw something shocking. And atop that mountain of wandering monsters, our boy sees something familiar, and that thing is his friend from the past, now in spirit form. Some time passes and outside the little witch is looking at the scenery. Then her classmate says that they need to leave soon, since the audience ceremony is about to start. The little witch realizes she'd forgotten about that, but says that things here are getting more interesting, and wonders what our boy is doing since he's been gone for a while. But back in the mirror world, our boy feels a little upset. He tries talking to his friend, saying that he never imagined they'd meet this way and that there's so much he wanted to tell him. But he thinks it's a pity because his classmate probably can't hear anything. And at that moment, a dark energy starts to surround him. When that energy completely covers his body, he enters a state of rage. And now he even looks like the shadows of our monarch, Sung Jinwoo. Our boy, seeing the energy he's releasing, tries to step back a bit and realizes he's really turned into an undead, and thinks to himself that he doesn't want to fight him. But the energy in that place keeps increasing, and our boy tries to move even farther away. But it's already too late, and the mirrored ability starts showing something to our boy. And what it shows are the memories of his old companion. The system starts displaying everything from when he was a child, through his youth, all the way to the day he entered that place. Then our boy realizes that these are indeed Ben's memories, but it doesn't take long before he sees the moment of betrayal, when someone pierced his heart from behind. And the one who did it was the so-called hero Ding Su. Our boy, seeing that memory, notices that the move he used looks familiar, and after the system shows it, the ability shatters. And the only thing left in front of our boy is his old companion. He keeps wondering what really happened in that place. He tries talking to his friend again, but his friend is in a state of rage and already comes at him to attack. Our boy defends that strike and tries to call out to him again, but he realizes his friend still can't understand him, and all he can do is dodge the attacks. Watching those movements, he understands that the only instinct the undead has left is combat. So our boy thinks about leaving that place, but the system warns him that it's not possible to leave the mirror world right now. And our boy is shocked because the only way to leave this place is to fight his friend. He didn't want to do that, but the system gave him no choice. Meanwhile, outside, Xiaoji is a bit startled because the Ding family showed up, and one of the three idiots asks why Xiaoji is alone in that place. He also asks about our boy and if he ran away when he noticed their family's arrival. The oldest idiot starts grinning and says that our boy just ruined all the fun. But then Xiaoji calls their attention and asks if they're here to train. The older extra tells him not to play dumb and says he already knows that Xiaoji invaded his house along with our boy. Xiaoji tries to play it off, saying he must be mistaken, but Ding Shu says he recognized his scream. At that moment, Xiaoji is shocked. He wasn't expecting that. But the older extra keeps smiling and says it doesn't matter now, warning that he brought him a present. At that moment, Xiaoji freezes at what he's seeing, because standing in front of him is his family. His grandpa, grandma, uncle, aunt, and even his mother came. Then his grandfather orders him to kneel, calling him an insolent brat, and tells him to apologize to the hero's family. But Xiao Ji, hearing that, is filled with disgust toward his family and tells his grandfather that he won't do it. Then his grandfather tells him to remember his teachings and how he should act in front of the hero's family, and again commands his grandson to kneel. But Xiao Ji asks if he really wants their family to serve the Jin family for generations. The family, hearing that, is stunned. They can't believe those words came from Xiao Ji's mouth. At that moment, his cowardly uncle immediately kneels and answers yes, saying they are descendants of traitors, and that being servants to the Jing family is already a blessing. Then, his mother calls his attention and asks if he wants the whole family to die. She tells him to think of his father, and also his mother, saying that since his father went mad, it's been hard for her to keep the family together. Xiao Ji, hearing that, stays silent for a few moments, but soon tells everyone to look at the scene behind him, showing the mountain of monster corpses and, on top of it, his great-grandfather, saying that he entered that secret realm to prevent a disaster. He begins to explain that it was because of that dungeon that everyone attacked him, and that's how he ended up being murdered and branded a traitor. He says that he's gathered plenty of information about his great-grandfather, but was missing one decisive proof, and confidently declares that the evidence is right in front of them, saying his great-grandfather wasn't a traitor, because the truth is very different from what they were told. The family hears that but remains silent, while Xiao Ji continues, saying that once the truth is revealed, his great-grandfather's name can be cleared, and they won't have to live like this anymore. And in anger, he says that the Ding family no longer has the right to treat them however they please. Then in that moment he shouts that his great-grandfather's family shouldn't have died because of them. But it doesn't take long before the older extra starts grinning and tells Xiao Ji that he's naive. He starts getting closer and confirms that everything he said is true. He admits that his great-grandfather really was killed in an ambush, and that he was never a traitor. And at that moment, the old man gives Xiao Ji the final answer, saying that his grandfather rose to power precisely because of that ambush. But he tells Xiao Ji that it doesn't matter now, saying that Xiaoan was a traitor to the empire, so he deserved to be eliminated. He concludes by saying that since they're descendants of traitors, they all deserve to be treated that way. Then he points to his family and says that they all knew the truth, and that was the Qiao family's secret. Because if they didn't accept being servants to the Jin family, they would all end up killed like those people in the past. Then, adjusting his tie, he orders everyone to kneel. The family simply obeys and they all kneel. At that moment, his mother begs her son, telling him not to fight or resist anymore. Crying, she says she doesn't want to lose a son the same way she lost her husband, and that she can't take this anymore. Xiao Ji, hearing that, starts trembling with rage, but he sees a vision of his mother in the past when she always encouraged him. It doesn't take long before Ding Su starts grinning like a maniac. Then he rushes at Xiao Ji, saying that he's slow for being stuck in the past, and that, one way or another, he's going to kneel. But Xiao Ji ignores him and blocks the attack with his only arm. It doesn't take long before he grabs that extra's leg and, using all his strength, smashes the bastard into the ground. And looking down at that piece of trash, he says he will never kneel again. Soon after, Ding Su starts getting up. He pulls his hammer from his inventory and asks Xiao Ji how he dares to attack him. Then the extra charges at him, saying he'll remind him how a punching bag is supposed to behave. But Xiao Ji won't just stand there. He's already pulled his shield from his inventory, and when the extra gets close, Xiao Ji bashes him in the face with it, leaving him stunned and wondering how he managed that. At that moment, Xiao Ji catches his mother's attention, who's standing up in the back, and while punching that extra, he says that they are the true descendants of heroes. And with that well-placed punch, Xiao Ji shows everyone that he won't be anyone's punching bag ever again. And that's it, folks. This was today's episode. If you want the continuation, smash that like button and drop a comment down below. This way I'll know you enjoyed it and bring you the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. See ya.